Hey everyone, welcome to a market close live stream. We are getting started earlier than expected because we're going to try something new. It's going to be kind of entertaining, hopefully. We'll see how it goes. We did this for the 32-hour live stream where we kind of would put together many different options here for things that we could do and think, hey, if we're going to do a longer kind of live stream, we could do something together where if you go to metkevin.com/donate, we put a few things on there to where if you donated certain amounts, I could look at certain stocks or do a fundamental analysis or portfolio review. We put some things in there. We'll see how it goes. We have no idea how it's going to go. So we're just going to try it. At the same time, we'll also be able to cover news stories, the sticks and market close, and we'll kind of see what else is going on. So for example, if somebody wants to know, what my thoughts are on a news item, I can also pull up that news item and we can talk about that news item. So we'll do that as well. So let's go ahead and right now start with, I want to do a prep on the Federal Reserve. So get this situated here appropriately. And then I want to talk about tomorrow because it's going to be important to be ready for expectations, or at least set the correct expectations for tomorrow. Fed Chair Jerome Powell obviously talks tomorrow, so let's get ready for that. And then we'll go into the sticks. So let's go ahead and do that. Well, I want to start with exactly that. So here we go. We'll start it almost like it's a new video, and then we'll get into the sticks because I do want to cover this. All right. So, hey, everyone, me, Kevin here. So you want to know this information that we're about to cover here before 2:30 p.m. on Wednesday, June 16th. The reason for this is on June 16th, that we are going to have probably a 45 to 1 hour conversation, or we're going to be able to listen to this conversation that Jerome Powell has with media. And we're going to be paying really strict attention to certain things. And I want to set your expectations for what it is that you want to look for. But I also want you to be prepared in what those things could end up entailing for the market. So here's what we're going to be up against. Tomorrow is the second day of the FOMC meeting, Federal Open Market Committee. Day one is today, tomorrow is day two. When the meeting concludes, at usually around 2 p.m. Eastern time, we'll get a release of what the conclusion was of the meeting, and did they decide to raise rates or change any kind of bond purchases. Right now, the Federal Open Market Committee, the Fed, they are buying $40 trillion worth of mortgage-backed securities and, $40 billion of mortgage-backed securities and $80 billion of Treasury securities every single month. And that totals up to about $120 billion in treasuries that they're buying every single month. And so what we're looking for is that number going to change, and are interest rates going to change? So that's going to be a big thing that we want to pay attention to tomorrow at that 2:30 moment. Actually, at 2 o'clock is when the statement comes out. Jerome starts talking at 2:30. At 2 o'clock, our expectation is that interest rates will stay at zero and bond purchases will stay at 40 and 80. Those are the three things you're looking at in the statement. That's pretty much it in terms of what you're looking at in the statement. We can kind of parse the statement and look for little changes, but they're so good at really not sending big signals in the statement that usually we don't get any changes out of the statement. The bigger moment is going to be when Jerome Powell speaks. So Jerome Powell will speak at about 2:30 Eastern time, and he's usually very much on time. And what we're going to be looking for in his verbal statement and his answers to folks' questions is exactly when we should begin to expect to hear about a taper actually happening. Taper means the reduction of bond purchases. That's tapering back. Now, when the Fed first talked about this in 2013, the markets kind of threw what became known as a taper tantrum, which is kind of like a child throwing a tantrum over the cheap money's going away, right? And so the markets are very nervous right now about what's going to happen if the Fed starts tapering. Like, how are markets going to react? Are people going to freak out? Because they freaked out in 2013, and guess what? When we tried it again after the taper, when we tried again in 2018 to actually go from taper to continuing to raise rates, that's when the market really freaked. We had a pretty bloody winter in the stock market in 2018. The real estate market got hammered by about 12% in the year of 2018, though it did mostly recover by the end of the year. Started in about May of 2018. And a lot of this was because of Fed action directly. So when the Fed talks, people pay attention. We know it's going to have a big we're going to have big implications from whenever the Fed makes their changes on taper and rates. We know the market's going to react. So here are the key things that I think we're looking for. Number one, we're going to be looking for very particular keywords tomorrow when Jerome Powell answers questions. The keywords we're looking for are soon and imminent. If they say anything about, hey, we're planning on tapering soon, or we're planning an imminent taper, I think the market's going to have a little bit of heart palpitations and chest pain. The reason for this is we know the taper is coming, but a lot of economists, I would say the average of economists based on a Bloomberg survey right now, are expecting the taper not to actually begin, which would mean going from 120 billion to, let's say, 100 billion. We're not expecting that to actually begin probably until August through September. Somewhere in that range is when we would expect the taper to begin, if it doesn't get delayed through the end of the year. The more it gets delayed, the better. What we don't want is them to go, we just decided to taper. The reason we don't want that is because Jerome Powell told us that he would give us plenty of notice before tapering. Well, so people are going to now challenge that assumption and decide, can we trust Jerome Powell? Can we trust J. Powell to actually keep his word and give us a lot of advanced notice if a taper is going to come and when that taper is going to come? He has promised that he would make it extremely clear. If we taper, we will make it extremely clear. You will know about it, and everyone will have ample notice. He has mentioned that. Now, he's also mentioned that you should use that 40% off coupon code down below to join my amazing courses. Link down below. But beyond that, obviously I didn't mention that. But beyond that, the other word we want to look at is soon. Well, the two words, soon and imminent. The reason here is we kind of don't want to hear imminent. Imminent would be bad because that would probably mean next meeting, which would be way earlier than expected. Soon is not so great either, much sooner than expected, because September, October, August, I wouldn't really think is soon for this purpose on tapering. If we hear him say, look, we're starting to talk about tapering, which this is my expectation. We're going to start talking about tapering. We have no plans of tapering soon and no plans of an imminent taper. That's good. Okay. That's positive. That's what the market wants. The market wants to wait. The market does not want to taper yet. And so this is going to be very, very important. We're not expecting any change on rate trajectory. Probably still going to see rate trajectories for a rate increase at the end of 2022, beginning of 2023. But remember, the market likes to project pricing forward. So the market likes to generally price, well, stocks about 18 months to sometimes 24 months ahead. So the market's really trying to predict, okay, well, what's going to happen at the end of next year? You know, what's going to happen at the beginning of 2023? Are we moving that up? Are we moving it back? How are you reacting? Now, we also had Paul Tudor Jones talk about how if the Fed doesn't respond to inflation, he's going to go big on all these inflation hedging stocks, right? Short bonds, industrials, things producing cash flow now like REITs and that. This, in my opinion, it's a little excessive. We broke this down in a video yesterday. I think it's a little excessive that you would go so hardcore on bagging on the Fed for maybe not responding to the last two CPI data, particularly because the last two sets of data, the last two releases, they were expected. We expected high inflation from base effects. We expected high inflation from stimulus, month-over-month factors, from people going out and spending. We expected to see those things in transitory portions of the CPI, which is exactly what we saw. Airline travel, used cars and trucks. I mean, this is expected so far. So far, everything's along the correct trajectory. Personally, I don't think the Fed's going to change anything here. I think tomorrow's going to be a dud in terms of what they give us. I think it's going to be, we're going to remain patient. There's a lot of work to be done. The economy is nowhere near to being ready to recover. We're nowhere near ready to taper, but we are starting to have the conversation about tapering. I think once they say we're ready to taper, like we're ready to have that conversation, he's going to be very blunt about that. Like, we're having the conversation. We had the conversation. We talked about it for a little bit. But we don't plan on doing anything yet. Those are my expectations. I think the market will take that very well tomorrow. I think the market's going to be happy with what Jerome does tomorrow. Jerome has pissed us off before, okay? In February, he's pissed us off. He's called equity valuations high before. He's messed up some things in the markets before. But hey, that's what they do. But anyway, I do expect a pretty boring Fed release tomorrow. I will be covering it, obviously, live. But I wouldn't be surprised to see the market a little like tentative later today, through the rest of the trading day today and into tomorrow until the Fed talks. And then really we just get unleashed until the next Fed talk. It's kind of like, okay, well, that's over. That wasn't that bad. That's part of my expectation in terms of what's going to happen. I do not believe we're going to have any kind of aggressive action from the Fed on inflation. And I think Paul Tudor is going to be very disappointed, although we can kind of expect this. Now, next month, okay, and this is the bottom line I want to get to as well, and then we're going to move on to the sticks. So the next thing that I want to hit here has to do with, well, wait a minute. What about the next CPI data set? Ooh, okay. So next CPI data set, which is going to give us inflationary data from June, will get reported in July, at the beginning of July, second week of July. In the second week of July, we'll be able to look at inflation data from June. I'm expecting to see it inflect down. If we get a good downward inflection, we go down from 5% year over year to like 4.1 or 3.5, somewhere in that range, 3.5 to 4.1, and month over month inflation stays around 0.2 to 0.6, somewhere around there in terms of an increase. That would be very good. So hopefully that's where we end up landing, but we obviously won't know that for about another 3 weeks. So there you have an update on what I think expectations should be for inflation, the Fed, and a tapering for tomorrow. Great. Thanks for watching that portion. Now, let's talk about the sticks. Let's talk about stocks, and let's see what the heck is going on in the market. So let's see here. Okay, one second here. Okay. So now it looks like we've got some changes happening in AMC. We've got AMC. Take a peek here. We've got AMC up 4.5% right now. We've got, let's see here. Oh, where's this going? Hold on, give me 1 second. I messed up where I put my certain files. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. It's exactly where I thought I would left it. Okay, good. So that's good. Here we go. Give me 1 sec. Let's go to the sticks here. There we go. Okay, perfect. So we've got AMC. Wow, actually quite a bit down here now from where it was earlier today. So I've been away from the computer for about the last couple hours here, and it looks like we kind of gave up AMC's run here in the day, the intraday run. We did break this 61 line, which was really, really impressive that we broke that. Very happy that we saw this happen. But we did definitely give that up again. I personally believe that's because we saw profit taking kick in, because there's a lot of uncertainty that happened over here. It looks like we had this sort of natural like 64.40 and 64 level of resistance that kind of came into AMC here. I personally think this is happening because there's almost some cluelessness and okay, I think there's some cluelessness with how to get to the next level here for AMC. The reason for that is very simple. Look at what we previously had. If you look at the day charts here, you can see we've previously hit a high of 72.62 on a day close. We hit 68.80 right here on a day close. And we've kind of haven't been at these areas before. It's sort of uncharted. And the same is true when we go over to the hour chart over here. The hour chart, we sort of zoom back. We're like, wait a minute. You know, we've only briefly been at 74 or even the high 60s before. So I'm going to scroll back a little bit here on the hour chart, and let's just see if we can get a little bit more guidance. But that's my guess is in terms of what happened here with AMC. We had a cool off because we have this uncertainty. And look at this. We even had that happen over here. Take a look at this with AMC here. There we go. So pop in over here at AMC. There we go. This Weeble chart moving. We'll go horizontal line here. Yeah, look at this. You have a lot of on the hour chart here even. You have this uncertainty where these bars were not really closing the hours much higher. You did get these intra-hour peaks here, but they were short-term uncertainties. The actual bars were very, very sticky around, or the hour closes we're very sticky around 64, 66 here into the close. We did get up to 73 in the after hours, which is usually more of a retail-driven push, lower volumes, less seller volume, less hedge fund or institutional activity volume. And so it's easier sometimes to drive a price up in the after hours than it is during market times. So we have this very, very uncharted territory here. And so I think that's probably why we saw a little bit of an AMC U-turn here. That would be my estimate. Now, I see some of you are asking about, let's see here, TTCF. Let's go see what's going on with Tattooed Chef. Okay. Okay. So then we have, this is Tattooed Chef right here. Tattooed Chef, what's going on? So we've got our 5 minute. Yeah, we had a push here in the middle of the day. it looks like we also, VWAP is purple here. So it looks like we broke above the VWAP all of a sudden here at around 1:05 Eastern time. So it almost potentially coincides with like a news release here or something. Let me go ahead and pull up the Bloomberg terminal and we can see exactly what's happening here. So let's see here. Give me a moment. We'll get the Bloomberg terminal up. And then I'll be able to get exactly what the news is on Tattooed Chef. We do also have a little bit of a bounce at Lordstown Motors, which is very exciting. So we'll see what's happening here. I don't see anything on them really since for months. There hasn't been much news for months. It's possible that you finally got a little bit of short potential attention because Tattooed Chef is short in the high 20s. Personally, I do wonder if it has to do with the fact that it has a valuation that's kind of as rich as a tech company, and it's not a tech company. It's got a high valuation, but beyond that, I'm not sure. I mean, it does seem like there would be some kind of news catalyst along with this, but we'll find out. Go ahead and get this Bloomberg up here. So it'll just take me another 20 seconds or so, and then we'll have Bloomberg up. In the meantime, shorts and suits. Yeah, no kidding, right? It's always shorts and suits. So what else do we have here? We've got, let's go pull it up. All right, still loading a little bit. TTC, somebody says TT. Well, TTCF is undervalued if you project very, 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 very high growth and staying power for their product, which is fine. You know, I mean, some people say Tesla sales are overestimated and therefore the company is overvalued, right? Ultimately, fundamental analysis comes down to people's opinions of projections. Okay, so call volume above normal and directionally bullish. Option volume rises. We've got conference, upcoming investor conference. Tattooed Chef to participate in upcoming investor conferences. Okay, there's an 8K from June 6th. I can pull that up. But why do I think GME went down? I can tell you in 1 second. I'll look. But let's see here. The 8K from Tattooed Chef. This is public, so I could show the 8K here. 8K on Tattooed Chef has, let's see, annual meeting of stockholders. Okay, this is how many shares we have, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is just giving a notice of the annual meeting. All right, so there's nothing really here. Yeah, you're right. I do not see any real news here on Tattooed Chef in terms of why all of a sudden we would have gotten a brief movement here. It does look like at the moment it's flat. I can't tell if it's suspended or it's just flat. Well, let's see here. Given that it opened for 22.40 and right now it's sitting at 22.42, that's pretty much, yeah, okay, that could just be flat. I'm surprised it's not. It seems like it's just a low volume day. Golly. A Webull is updating either very slowly or it's a low volume day. Let's go look at GME here. So I'll look at Workhorse in a moment. Yeah, GME. Okay, so we did have a big move down today in a lot of momentum stocks. A lot of them. We closed out almost all of our momentum positions last week that were on short-term options. We left the week very profitably last week, which I was very happy with. We're up over $30,000 to $40,000. I need to actually sit down and go through the like a spreadsheet or something like that. But I owe you that, so I'll get back to you on that. But anyway, why do we think GME is down 747 here? Well, first thing we could look at is news catalyst, but this doesn't to me look like a news catalyst here. This to me looks like just a sort of a slow bleed of profit taking. And folks, remember when people say profit taking, it doesn't necessarily mean they're out of the stock for good. Sometimes it just means that people are taking profits for the day and they'll be back tomorrow. They'll be backs, the famous be backs like at the car lots. Okay. So let's take a peek here. We have Lemonade at 6.76% to the downside as well. Yeah, so you've got good momentum here moving down along with GameStop. I don't know that there's anything particular that happened here at GameStop beyond, because look at this. Poshmark has been a momentum play. So has XL Fleet. So has Workhorse. So has Nano Dimension. Although recently Nano Dimension's kind of been forgotten. Lemonade, Ashford, a GameStop, Root, Build-A-Bear, Vroom issued debt. So that's no. Fisker, Arcimoto. These have all been momentum plays. All of them. the ones that I just mentioned here. And I have the belief that this sort of momentum has temporarily dried up. There's a lot of uncertainty going into the Fed meeting tomorrow. And that Fed meeting tomorrow, honestly, I mean, we discussed it in this video, is, in my opinion, going to do nothing. But there are a lot of folks who believe that it could be a major catalyst event, especially after Paul Tudor Jones's comments yesterday. Yeah, so it doesn't surprise me that we're seeing a little bit sort of what I like to call a bleed out in the day on a trading day. If we take a look at GameStop here, we'll see it just bled out. There was no technical analysis here, folks. I mean, it's straight down. That's your technical analysis. Like, I mean, and I mean that from the point of view of, like, you would have had, a false push here, false bottom, false bottom, false bottom. This was a good bottom, but how would you have known, right? And now we're bobbing around here. Now we've got an upper trend here. We've got higher lows happening right now, which is nice, but we're not getting higher highs. So we'll see what happens. It's just a classic consolidation at the moment towards the end of the day here. We've got about an hour and a half, hour 38 left of trading for the day. So I wouldn't say that anything that happened here at GameStop was news related. That's just looking at the chart. I will check, though. It doesn't hurt to do a quick little check. So GME. Yeah, momentum never lasts forever. And I think by definition, momentum doesn't last forever, right? No, just talk about meme stocks declining here, blah, blah, blah. I hate it when they say meme stocks. GameStop trading slightly lower today, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah. No, there's nothing really in the news aspect here that's suggesting there's any kind of reason for a decline in share prices here. And this is just momentum dries up. And it's very, very normal for momentum to do that. This is why when you get options of momentum, you generally have to be pretty fast to get in and out. It's different if you have shares, right? If you have shares, you could just sit in there and it doesn't matter. Yeah. So all right, let's now scroll to the upside here. So we did have Lordstown running a little bit today. There was some sort of news that came out regarding Lordstown. Let's go ahead and look at the Lordstown pump here. Yeah, let's see what we got. Okay. All right, give me a second. All right, let's see. Lordstown news here. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay, yeah, here's news. I'll report this. Give me 1 second here. Let me just make sure I have the proper item up here. I would like to... I want to get the filing, is what I'm looking for. Give me 1 moment, and I will pull up the filing. Lordstown Motors. But yeah, I mean, this is very, I mean, they went into the toilet here. So I'm still nervous about them. I'll explain why. Shape transition, reports for investigation. That's interesting. Okay, yeah, this was the leadership transition, and then we have the results. But this came out yesterday here. Because they responded to Hindenburg. Gosh, it took them forever to hit back at Hindenburg. Golly. Okay, binding orders. That's what I'm trying to find out. Where did this comment come from? Orders. That's what I'm trying to find. If I can get that, I could provide this update here. Pre-orders, binding. Nope. All right. Well, I'll have to go with the article here, this news piece. So I'll give you an update on this. All right. So it's Nicola 2.0. Oh. All right. Let me give you an update here on what happened with Lordstown Motors. So okay. Yeah. Here we go. Hey everyone, me Kevin here. Okay, let's talk about Lordstown Motors. So last week, Lordstown Motors got absolutely devastated, and they just popped a little bit in the market today. And I want to talk a little bit, about why and what's happening here. So let's start by just looking back here over the past few days. So this has been Lordstown. It's kind of been moving a little bit in the momentum plays, and we've seen it have some pain, specifically last week, where we've had sharper declines, where we've gone from 1566 to all of a sudden, suddenly, it's all of a sudden down to about $10.68. We had this massive decline here. 5 points on a $15. It's massive. We've got, 33-ish% decline here. We tried climbing back to about 1165, quickly fell back down to about 920. Today, all of a sudden, though, we did get a little bit of a boost from about the 930 levels. We opened up right around, it looks like we opened about 922 to 930. And right now we're trading at a high of $10.64 within this last hour candlestick here, up 7.12%, currently sitting at a last price of $9.92. And questions are coming up as to why Lordstown is popping a little bit today. Here's an article explaining slightly why, but first I want to mention why first. We saw a decline last week. One of the big reasons we saw Lordstown just get utterly pummeled last week has to do with an 8K they released, which is just a current report where in the current report, they declared, and we pulled this up on a live stream last week. It was pretty blunt. You could see this on their investor relations page. They declared that they are unable to include any or project any opportunities or abilities to actually deliver vehicles this year. So no vehicles to get delivered in 2021. They also said they would only have enough money to in 2021 maybe produce 1 or 2 beta vehicles, and that in 2022 they'd be able to move into production if they were able to raise more money. But to be able to raise more money, they'd probably either have to issue more debt or they would have to issue more shares and sell those, which would dilute everybody who's investing in the company. So that was really bad news. In fact, they even specifically recommended that people don't invest in the company. It was kind of like a CYA, And then they also said there's a serious going concern for the company. That is sort of a fancy accounting term for basically like we might not survive, we might go bankrupt. So anyway, now this just came out here. And it here says, this is from Street Insider, Lordstown has binding orders for first 2 years of production. Okay, great. So let's hear this, because we also just had the CFO and the CEO leave, which is also not good. So here's finally like a little bit of a breath of fresh air. All right, so Detroit. Lordstown Motors has firm and binding orders for the first 2 years of production of its electric pickup truck, the president said on Tuesday, sending shares up 11%, currently up about 7%. Quote, currently we have enough orders for production for 2021 and 2022. Personally, this is a little, sounds a little convenient to say right after an investor relations release. You said, we're out of money and we can't produce anything. So I want to make this very clear, and this is the first time I'm reading this, but I want to make this very clear. When a president of a company that just got wrecked comes out and says, hey guys, we have enough orders for 2021 and 22 production, I'm thinking to myself, that's great. How are you going to pay for it, given that you just told the world you don't have enough money? So then he says, I don't know the exact... Okay, hold on. Let's get rid of this. I don't know the exact facts of the legal aspect of that, but they're basically binding orders that are committed here in the last 2 weeks. Reconfirmed orders, he added. Asked when they were binding. They're pretty solid. And I think that's on the light side or conservative side. What kind of crap is this? I'm sorry, but like, wait. The president said at an automotive press conference, those are firm orders we have for those 2 years. I don't know the exact facts of the legal aspect of that. What does that even mean? But they're basically binding orders that are committed here in the last 2 weeks and reconfirmed. Okay, so you call people up like, hey, you still good with your pre-order on your truck for Lordstown? Because we need to put out a good press release. Call me jaded, okay? Call me jaded. That's just what I'm seeing right now here. In March, Lordstown shared slump after Hindenburg had attacked them back in March. We, on Monday, heard that the CEO and CFO left. They resigned and acknowledged they overstated the quality of pre-orders in the trucks. And I think that's why you're having the president now come out and say, well, we have at least 2 years of good pre-orders. SEC has asked the company for information related to their pre-orders. GM owns a small stake in the startup. Well, they also owned a small stake in Nikola, or basically got gifted a stake in Nikola. Okay, yeah, to me, honestly, this is not actually great news for Lordstown. Like, when I read that, I'm like, dude, why would you hold a press conference and go, yeah, there are basically orders that are good? Like, what? What are you saying? You're the president of Lordstown Motors and you're coming out to a press release and you don't have the proper details? You got to be kidding me. So that makes me nervous, okay? We get 2 executives that leave. We get the attorneys for the company putting together SEC documents that are saying we're basically going bankrupt. You get a president that comes out and says we basically have enough orders for 2021 and 2022, but their SEC report said even if they have orders, they might not have money to actually produce those orders. They barely have enough money to get their beta vehicles done this year, and they'll have to raise a lot of money going into 2022, which is also not good for the shareholders. So all in all, big Lordstown Motors bottom line here, I'm not happy. I'm nervous. I'm not a shareholder. I dumped all of my shares. Well, I had a few options. We had a few swing options. And I think I got out with like an $1,800 loss right before like the big red candlestick came. So I felt really good about that. Not that the company went down, but really good that I was able to get out. But look at this bounce right here. We've got the bottom. We know we're trying to get back to that 18 level here. But folks, this lid is going to get moved down hardcore if we continue to get this sort of bad news coming out of Lordstown. Now, part of you might wonder, like, well, how bad can it get? Like, can it really get any worse? Yes. They could literally sit in the toilet and then issue shares and shares and shares, and this ends up becoming a penny stock sub $5. So, yeah. And I'm not trying to, like, FUD Lordstown, okay? Just trying to be transparent. So, anyway, those are my thoughts. It makes me a little nervous. And don't get me wrong, like, I love the concept that Lordstown's going for, but that kind of press release, that's a BS press release, okay? Like, I call BS there. All right, folks. Thank you for watching this on Lordstown. Let's move on. All right. So what else do we have here? I'm looking at comments now. Let's see what else we have. Tell us how inflation... Okay. I will answer that question. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second. Let's just listen to CNBC for like 20 seconds here.
Was the top investment, as it has been for quite some time, 27%. Public equities close behind at 25%. Currencies, which include crypto, only 1%, but it's up from 0% in the prior quarter. We're going to explore that and more with Michael Sonnenfeld. He is the founder of Tiger 21. Michael, as always, good to see you. Let's talk a little bit about the growth in public equities. That means common stocks, basically, which are now a greater percentage of these folks' portfolios, even than private equity. Why is that? Is that because they have bought more stock, or because the stock they own has gone up in value?
No, I think we have 2 major themes. You've just touched on them: the crypto blockchain area and the climate energy area. And both of those are new areas, certainly on the renewable side, and you can't express them in private equity. So we've had sort of a shift in priorities of how people express.
Okay, I don't really care about this person's investing playbook. Sorry about that. I thought I might if I heard something interesting, but I didn't hear anything interesting. So with that said, I'm going to go back to the sticks over here. Okay, I'm going to pull up AMC here, but we cover all things here. Okay, so we've got, oh, this person. Jeremy, you're always anti my inflation opinion, and it's fine. Look, 45% of people don't think inflation is going to be transitory, and other people do think. Yeah. So yeah. Let's see here. Okay. So we've got, tell us how inflationary wages are going to be transitory. Hire you at Home Depot, $20 an hour, and then cut you back to 15 once we hit an inflection point. No, so it doesn't work like that. I mean, people aren't going to expect their wages to get cut. But what happens is when wage pressure starts going down, Newer people can start getting hired at lower amounts, and you slowly start phasing potentially down wages. Or what is most common in a transitory environment like this is businesses absorb the cost. So businesses end up absorbing the loss in margin, and they try to become more productive elsewhere in their business, and that's generally how they absorb that. Okay, good. So let's see here. We're also doing. We're trying to figure out various. You know what? I'm open to this, by the way. If you have ideas that you're interested in engaging with this live stream on, consider going to meetkevin.com/donate. Go to that. You're going to see like a bunch of different options that we have there. For example, I put if you want like a YouTube audit, we could do that for you. 2 to 4 minute YouTube audit. I could look at a stock particularly that you want, which I'm looking at stocks naturally throughout the day anyway. For example, we just looked at Lordstown. You could come on to the live stream if you want. You could give me a real estate deal to analyze. I could review your portfolio, a bunch of different things, but I'm also open to different ideas. So can you just watch a video live for the $2.95 option? Yeah. So for example, Dumb Money Media, are you talking, you want me to play a certain video? $50 to say yes or no to a stock? Oh, that's dirty. I can't do that. That's a good suggestion, but I don't want to just say yes or no. I could maybe just give you like, I mean, I'd probably honestly rather do the quick look. I know that's a little more, and it would be donating to the campaign, right? For the donate, can you just watch a video live? I mean, I think Dumb Money, I think if you want me to like critique a video you did or like production or whatever, but if it's like, here's the $2.95 and then I want to brainwash Kevin's audience, that's probably not going to work. I think it would probably have to be a legitimate like YouTube check rather than here you're going to watch Barney for 4 minutes. I could see that happen. $100 to talk me out of selling Tesla. No, go ahead, dump it. That way I can buy it for lower. So do a lightning round. Yeah, you know that. I actually think it'd be cool if people called in, like kind of Dave Ramsey does. So I don't know, maybe if nobody calls in or whatever, nobody donates a certain amount, I'll just lower the price and or not. I don't know. It depends. It depends how many people donate. But right now, somebody donated. We put it at $420.69. I don't know. Maybe that's too much. You guys tell me. And girls. $420.69 gets you a 2 to 4 minute phone call. So you come on the phone and we hit up a scenario, kind of do like a, like the talk shows or whatever. Okay, so let's go back to the sticks here for a moment. We've got Torchlight at 45%. You know what we should do? Nah, hold on. I'll think about that. Lordstown. Okay, Lordstown. Yeah, I just kind of ripped on Lordstown a little bit. Ethereum. Oh, well, it's not Ethereum. Let's see. Let's go to this list. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it's actually a pretty ugly day today, folks. This is, 10% on Build-A-Bear. I mean, momentum's getting a little wrecked today. It's honestly a little surprising. Yeah, exactly. Like Ben Mala does. Dude, check it out, y'all. Come on, man. You do not talk about Ben Mala without having a Ben Mala mug. Garbage to gold. Let's go. But you got to always have that mug right next to your buy the dip mug, of course. All right. So, yeah, I mean, this is a pretty brutal day here, folks. Look at this. I mean, momentum's just getting destroyed. Ugh. This is very, very, very bad for momentum. I mean, look at this. Build-A-Bear, momentum. Root, momentum. Nikola has gone up with momentum. Seriously. Express, SunPower. SunPower's not really a momentum stock. Ashford, Workhorse, Arcimoto, Nano Dimension, XL Fleet, Cost, GameStop, somewhat Lemonade, GameStop. I said that. Fisker, BNGO. Come on, man. It's all momentum. It's just getting destroyed today. Destroyed. QS is moving nicely, is it? QS. Okay, well, quantum. I mean, 2%. I don't even wake up for 2%. How's DraftKings doing? Okay. We played those DraftKings options well this morning. I sent out if you weren't in the morning live, I always, of course, send out an alert to all the course members as well. Which always remember, use that, click that link, get the Get 40% off those courses. Stocks and Psychology Money gets you my alerts. It's not, don't copy my trades, just use them as alerts. But I mean, whatever I do, if I buy or sell, I put everything in there. And this is how you know that, like, some people are like, oh, well, what if you like buy a stock and then you like short it? And like, no, I short nothing. I have no shorts in my entire portfolio, and I will never be discovered as having shorts in my portfolio unless I disclose it. Like, if I'm going to short something, I'll say it. It'll be an alert. But right now what we've got is, I think shorting is opposite. Oh, I don't like it. And maybe I suck at it. I don't know. I don't even want to try. I know what I'm good at. And it's not that. DraftKings, we're up $4,500 right now on a 20 grand buy. Dude, I'll take that. That's a good day. I could close that right now. But honestly, I think, okay, this is just between us, okay? I kind of think when DraftKings comes out and disputes and calls this Hindenburg crap bull, whatever, I think this thing's going to go right back up, and then I'm going to sell, okay? All right, just saying. All right, where were we? So, yeah, room on the debt, though. That got destroyed. All right, what else here? If inflation isn't transitory, would investing in oil as well as gold be a good idea? Oil is often related to cash flows. Price of oil can go up in an inflationary environment. I think that's a logical conclusion. I don't know anything really about commodities. My knowledge in commodities is like, yeah. Like, that's it. It's very, very, very little. So I think I'm just the wrong person to ask about commodities. I don't care what environment we're in. I'm not buying oil. I will buy some real estate in an inflationary environment. Oh. Yeah, we'll live stream the video on the Fed tomorrow. And I did at the beginning of this live stream. Hold on. Sorry. At the beginning of this live stream, I talked about the Fed. Would you short ride? That's a really good question. Probably not. Oh gosh, tattooed. What a disaster of a day. Hold on. And there's the day chart. Oh my gosh, what a disaster. Had a run and died. No, I probably wouldn't. Even if I think something's going to crap, I don't know. I feel weird like profiting off somebody else's like failure. I don't know. I just don't like doing it. So, all right, what else do we have? We've got AMC. Let's look at AMC a little bit, okay? AMC's been like mega boring today. Although, no, I have to say, this morning, it was juicy. It was juicy this morning. I mean, this morning was fun. We pinpointing peak inflation. Hold on a second.
A frenzy for the commodities. I mean, they collapsed in 2020. You have supply chain issues now. You have issues on purchases, something as simple as furniture to building houses. And so there was a massive run up because of all these issues that came together. I think you're going to continue to see inflation. I hope it's not as rapid as it has been. The Fed meeting this week is very important to see what is their tone. I don't think they will raise rates or anything that drastic, but
no.
It is going to be interesting to see, do they continue pumping money into the economy at such a rapid pace as they have? And I think that's going to tell a lot about where commodities go and about where inflation goes. But remember, gradual inflation is something that's probably positive for our economy, and we haven't had it in how many years? Right. And so as long as it's not a rapid spike or a continued long spike, I think you'll see a positive outlook from the Fed continuing to move forward.
Matt, in the last hour, Jeff Curry of Goldman Sachs calling copper the new oil. If that's the case, would you be a buyer of copper on weakness here?
No.
I would be a buyer on further weakness, and I totally agree with Jeff. I mean, a year ago this month, I said we're at the beginning of a new bull market in commodities, and it will last several years. However, it had an unbelievable run up, as Michael talked about, and kind of a perfect storm that just took them to unbelievable levels, and it also made it very, very overbought. I mean, you look at the chart of copper. I mean, its weekly RSI, relative strength index, is the most overbought. It was even more overbought than it was back at the peak in 2011. And this is very representative of many other of these commodities. The thing is, they're still a little overbought. They've worked off some of that thing, so they may come down a little bit further as we go through the summer. But I think over time, that will present a great buying opportunity. And so not just the commodities, but the commodity-related stocks are going to be ones that we want to be looking to buy on weakness as we move through the summer.
Yeah, that chart really tells the story. Matt and Michael, thank you.
I don't know. Somebody here in the chat's like, Kevin, why don't you buy oil? Wait for it to go to 30 again and buy oil. You know when I'll buy oil? Next time it goes down to let's see, -27. That's when I'll buy it. How's that deal? Okay. That would be fun. That would be fun. Okay, let's go ahead and let's hop back over here. Okay, so Lordstown's leading today, which is incredible because Occugen this morning was up substantially. It was over. What was it? It was. I want to say we were over like. No, it was over 20% this morning on the day chart. Yeah, but now it's really just given up a lot here. Oh, it's incredible. Just the lead out. There it is. Yeah, we opened at 707, and now we're sitting at 649, which 649 divided by 707 is, yeah, that's like an 8 to 9% decline since then. Let me turn on the fan here. Hold on. Fan controls. The computer's melting. There we go. Don't want to melt the computers. There we go. All right. So, all right, that's much better. Build-A-Bear rising a little bit. It's coming off of its lows. Its lows around 16.15 here. Oh, yeah. Aluminum used to, aluminum transmitted electricity and caused lots of fires. Yeah. Husbands in oil, now they're a Bitcoin mine. Yeah, depending on when you got in, no kidding. Just you can milk that and make lots of money. One sec. All right. What else do we have? Let's go ahead and read a little bit of news and see what is going on in the world here. We've got about an hour and 10 minutes to the close, and we are going to let's pop up a little bit of Bloomberg.com. Oh, wait a second. No way. Look at this. Here come the teens. Look, check this out.
Ronak, I became interested.
Teens moving from Roblox to Robinhood? No way.
I was 17, so I'm really thrilled. I want to know how you became so interested.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Okay, they're just sort of interviewing somebody. All right, so Airbnb. Oh, let's check this out. This could be interesting. Airbnb's. Wait a second. What's happening here? Because this is a big piece. Oh, this is a really big piece on Airbnb here. I'm very, very curious. Let's go break this down on Airbnb here really quick. Let's see what we got on Airbnb. Airbnb is spending millions of dollars to make nightmares go away. When things go horribly wrong during a stay, the company's secretive safety team jumps in to soothe guests and hosts, helping families and prevent PR disasters. Ooh. This could be juicy. All right, so let's see here. Let's see what we got. Okay, I want to just see what they do. An attacker fled with her phone. Okay, cops were already in the apartment. So it sounds like when things go wrong, basically, like when there's some kind of disaster, they have some kind of customer support team. Staff member was sent to court to see if Airbnb was mentioned during the proceeding. Oh, they're just trying to do reputation management. Airbnb doesn't have a policy for house exchange keys. Okay, let's see. No way. The story remained unreported until now, in no small part because 2 years after the assault, Airbnb wrote the woman a check for $7 million. Not to talk about the settlement or apply liability to Airbnb. Oh, wow, that's interesting. I mean, this to me sounds like something I feel like any company would do, is essentially just anytime there was anything that could like smear the reputation of the company, just pay them off. It makes sense to me. I think that's really what's going on here. So this is not, okay, this was a little clickbaity, I have to say. Like, I thought they were talking about maybe like financial nightmares or like the company was having a problem. This is, I mean, in fairness, they're right. They're literally right about their title. But yeah, let's see here. Let's say. All right, there we go. All right, so we've got, yeah, that was nothing. That was funny. Good clickbait. They got us. They got us. All right, White House says no deal, no deadline for this. Quite frankly, the whole infrastructure plan, I think, is a big inflation catalyst. It's such a big. Shoot. Oh, there, my audio turned onto mute there. There we go. Can you hear me now? I accidentally put myself on mute. There we go. You can hear me now. So here's the thing. When it comes to inflation, I think the infrastructure deal is pretty big in terms of inflation expectations. Like Janet Yellen tells us that there was plenty of spending that's left that could be done without causing inflation in the economy, which a lot of people don't believe her. And I think the big thing right now is folks saying like, hey, well, if we don't get an infrastructure deal, then we don't even have to worry about it. Because if there's no infrastructure deal, then there's no trillions of dollars worth of spending. So without trillions of dollars worth of spending, we're probably not going to have to worry about as much inflation as before. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm just trying to log into this here real quick. There we go. I think I did it. Hey, there we go. Awesome. So personally, to me, the White House saying, hey, look, we're taking our time on trying to figure out this infrastructure deal. We've got this bipartisan group. They're still trying to go back and forth, but nobody seems to be able to strike a deal. Honestly, it's just good for inflation. It's good. So, oh, did the video quality went down? What happened? Okay, hold on. You can probably fix that. Let's see what happened. Network. That's weird. Oh, there we go. Oh, weird. We're back. Oh, that's so weird. Yeah, it flipped to Wi-Fi for a second. So I have two internets. I have 1 gigabit up and down Ethernet, and then I have Wi-Fi as a backup. For some reason, it went to the backup for a moment. Oh, we're back. Anyway, were you able to hear the part about the inflation and infrastructure? Hopefully you were. All right. So yeah, somebody says refresh and it's fine. Okay, cool. Let's see what else we have here. So infrastructure is good. We talked about Lordstown. We talked about GameStop and sort of this melting that we're getting. Yeah, but we weren't listening. You're funny. Somebody says run. Go EV. Is Go EV running? Let's take a peek. Go EV. Yeah, what's happening? Go EV's running. Check that out. Just out of nowhere here. Go EV's running. Let me see if I can get the news here. Hold on 1 second here. Let's get the news. GME. Oh, sorry, Go EV. Go. That's a big explosion. That's a rocket ship there. Okay, no news. It's just out of nowhere. It's out of nowhere. It's like momentum is coming back or something like that. Let's pay attention here. How's AMC doing? No movement yet on AMC. Somebody says GME is moving a bit. What's happening? Yeah. GME is doing it as well. Where did this volume come from? It's power hour volume here out of nowhere. GoEV's ripping right now. 1010, 677, 682. Wow. Let's see here. No, it's dropping a little bit now. That's that 10, 999. Yeah, here comes the red candlestick. That was weird. You know what? I wonder if the same thing's happening on GME. This could have been a fund executing a block order here. Yeah, AMC moving. This could have been a block order. Yeah, a little bit of a move here on AMC. I think there was just like a momentum order that was placed. Yeah, see the volume's going away again here on AMC. Now I'm not sure because I'm still in this minute, but personally I believe this was a block order that just went through on AMC and other momentum such as GoEV. Because look at it, it's gone. I mean, we literally 10x the volume here. Actually, more than that. See, the volume at GoEV was like a few thousand to a high of 18, 23,000, something like that. All of a sudden, it goes to 45, 59, 403, 188, 166. That's a block order. You just got a large order that went through on multiple momentum stocks. It's a fund probably placing a purchase on multiple momentum stocks an hour before the close, right before. Yeah, it totally makes sense. That's what I would call that. Oh, look at this. You even got Peloton down there. Just melting. You have a lot of melting today. Yeah, volume on GoEV definitely shot up. Weeble chat to find out the latest. Oh man. Did the video quality get better again? I know we went through a brief little hiccup there, but I think it got better, right? I don't know why it flipped to Wi-Fi and then back. All right. Thank you to those of you in Discord mentioning that as well. Looks good. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. So Nicola, Build-A-Bear, Root. Gosh, it's like fire sale on some of these. Now, in some ways, I like to do yeah. Hold on one second. So in some ways, I like to look at these potential moments of weakness and grab a producer price inflation just came out. Hold on a second. Let's look that up. PPI. Oh, really? PPI. Here we go. Yeah, this just came out. PPI came out. Let's look at this. Okay, producer price index. Actually, let me save this here, and then we'll go through this appropriately. Because I could do this much easier if I save it as a PDF, because then I can draw on it. I do want to go through this with everybody and just give you an explanation on what the heck is happening here. So, one sec. Good notes. Yeah, this will be interesting, especially since it's inflation related. That could be what led momentum to get burned a little bit, along with other sectors. All right. I had to airdrop to the right iPad. You know, they don't label the iPads differently, which is really annoying. And I've tried to name them differently, and it does nothing. Okay, let's go do it. All right. So we're going to go through this together. All right. I'm going to just briefly start it as if it's a new video. What's up, Sensei? Hold on. All right. Hey everyone, me Kevin here. The producer price inflation index just came out, or index on inflation just came out, and we're going to go through the details of exactly what was in it. Actually, I literally can't because I think my HDMI is... I took all my setup to San Francisco, and now I can't do it. I can't get my iPad on. Give me one sec. Here, what we'll do is... I want to hit this PPI real badly. One sec here. Hold on.
6.6%. Its largest one-year jump ever. Meantime, retail sales missed the mark, falling 1.3%, though April's numbers were revised higher. And in a mostly down market, energy is the bright spot today. The sector climbing as oil prices see a fresh boost to $72.
Can't get it up.
59
Shut
minutes
up.
left to go in the session. The Nasdaq seeing the biggest
Oh
pullback of the
man,
major
y'all terrible.
Coming up on today's show, Trailblazer.
Y'all terrible. Like, all right, there we go. Okay, so now we can do it. Now we're good. Everything is good. Everything is under control. Now we're going to try it again. Hey everyone, me Kevin here. The producer price index numbers came out and we're going to go through them together because they are another measure of inflation. So let's pull them up. We've got them on the iPad here. Let's go through exactly what's going on. So here we go. We got the producer price index. It came out earlier today. It comes out on June 15th. So it comes out after the CPI numbers. Usually CPI is a little bit more paid attention to than PPI, but here we go. So producer price index is different from consumers because it's, well, what producers are buying. So it's a producer price index. And the increase month over month came in at 0.8%. This was a little higher than expected on a month-to-month basis. Year over year, though, looks very nasty because, again, those base effects, very similar to CPI. But look at that base effects here, 6.6% for 12 months ending in May. Even though we know this has to do with base effects, you know that's an easy headline story to just run on a newspaper or the Wall Street Journal or whatever. And folks don't like seeing big numbers like that, especially since I feel like a lot of people kind of just read the title, which is bad. So anyway, the 12-month, look at this, largest increase since 12-month data was first calculated in November 2010. So largest increase in the last 11 years. We'd expect that. Nearly 60% of the May increase in, oh, this is very important, in the index for final demand can be traced to a 1.5% rise in price for final demand goods. So we want to know that 60% of the increase had to do with final demand goods. So we want to figure out exactly what they include in final demand. Prices for final demand, less food, energy, and trade services increased 0.7% in May. All right, this is how they're getting that 60% number. So final goods, here we go. Prices for final demand goods rose 1.5% in May after rising 0.6% in April. Over 40% of the broad-based increase in May can be traced to index for final demand goods. Okay, well here it's 40%. Prices of final product detail. Okay, here we go. Within the index for final demand good in May, prices for non-iron metals rose 6.9%. Okay, so metals, commodities. This is a symptom of commodity prices skyrocketing. So what they're saying here is 60% of the May increase came from final demand goods. Final demand goods include metals, beef, veal, diesel fuels, that's the energy part, hay, oil seeds, and motor vehicles also advanced. Well, this is interesting because we know that motor vehicles have been going up in CPI data as well. And we also know that metals have been going up like crazy. So this isn't like massively unexpected. Prices for final demand services rose 0.6 in May, fifth consecutive increase. We would expect that. 40% can be traced back to demand trade services. So let's take a look at trade services. Trade services include, let's see here, trade services measure changes in margins received by wholesalers and retailers. Okay. Transportation, warehousing. Okay, prices for final demand services, less Yeah, that's a little bored. Okay, what else do we have here? Oh, here it is. Okay, over 40% of the May increase is attributable to margins for automobile retailing, which jumped 27%. 27.3% automobile retailing. Wow. The indexes for truck transportation of freight, apparel, footwear, and accessories retailing, portfolio management, so on and so forth, actually retailing also rose. All it says is also rose. Okay. Well, we could get more details here in terms of what actually went up. Let's do that. Let's go to the table. If they're going to give us the table breakdown. Oh, no, I have to get the table breakdown from their website. We can look at the table breakdown here. This is interesting. So let's pull this by producer price changes, by groupings, final demand category. Oh, yeah, look at this. This gives you the full breakdown here of exactly what we've got. Okay, so what we're looking for here is usually the seasonal adjusted monthly. So the far right column is what you're looking for. 25.7% increase in grains, 10.5% increase in beef and veal. So this would be for like restaurants, right? 9.3% cooking oil, 9.2% in number 2 diesel. I'm just looking for big ones right now. These are huge though. Commercial furniture went up 2.4%, while household furniture went up 1.8%. 3.5% mobile home price increase. 27.3% for automobile retailing. 5.8% for RV trailers, campers, and retailing. Oh my gosh, some big old numbers here. And the downs just aren't that much. Air freight went down 5%. We've got arrangement of flights went down 6.5%. So very volatile here, the numbers. But boy, oh boy, some of those numbers are huge. Of course, they're going to drag up the average a lot. And it kind of goes to show that some sectors are just getting destroyed. Transformers and power regulators up 4.6%. 5% for iron and steel scrap. 9.2% on, yeah, that was diesel. 7.1 on petrol. That was beef and veal. We looked at that one. The 19.5 was oil seeds. Wow. It's just sort of a different basket of goods that they look at. Very, very interesting. Wow. Only Tom Brady hates inflation worse. Oh, no. This is like a Deflategate joke. Oh, man. Wow. Ay. Okay, let's see what some of the commentary is here. By Silver IMO. Yeah, number 2 diesel, not pretty. No, this is not CPI, J Brew. This is PPI. It came out today. And the thing is, if these prices are not transitory, it doesn't sound like rising interest rates is something that can fix these inflations. It can. It certainly can. Rising interest rates generally quell demand, and that market-wise can bring things down. Though I know there's a lot of jade, and I know Jeremy for sure is full of jade here and full of jokes with his comment, which I am highlighting here. But it's fine. I welcome counter opinions. Oh, yeah. Somebody says here, I would like to bring your attention that all the shorted stock spikes on FINRA short settlement dates. Today is the one. Next one will be 6/17. All right. Let's go. Let's see what else we have here. All right. So we've got CNBC's on commercial. What we got on the climate comp? Oh, crap. 10-year treasury. How am I doing over here? Up a little bit? Let's take a peek. Yeah, we're back to 1.5.
Inflationary policies like stimulating, even though the economy is in a V-shaped recovery, continuing with this stimulus on the demand side, but while taxing and regulating, which is constricting the supply side. That by nature is inflationary. So is paying people to stay home and not go to work and produce anything. So that's also inflationary. So I'm more concerned with long-term inflation than near-term.
All right. Gentlemen, we're going to have to leave it there. Greg Swenson, Tom Hayes, thank you both for joining us today. We do appreciate it.
I mean, I think that's a fair statement, what he said, is being concerned about long-term inflation. I mean, I agree with that, too. I do think that's probably your biggest concern.
Reopens for business, but will big city office buildings and even mom and pop shops ever be back to 100 occupancy, 100% that is occupancy again? Well, coming up, the CEO of IWG will talk about the outlook for the office and why the word flexible could be the key to the future for business owners. And as we head to the break, another quick look at that big board. We've been down across the board, but that's for the Dow. Just off 81 points at this hour, down 0.25%. The Claimer Countdown. We'll be right back.
It was a good tune. Hopefully I don't get demonetized by that. Oh, man. Sarah, what do you got?
Corporate leadership. The first Black woman CEO of a Fortune 500 company. She leads the Board Diversity Action Alliance. It's a group focused on increasing representation of Black and other racially and ethnically diverse directors on corporate boards.
Very important. Let's now move over to the sticks. Okay. Let's see what's going on in the sticks. Okay. So let's see what we got over here. We have Torchlight is still, I mean, absolutely wrecking here. Lordstown crushing it. I mean, on the day here, I'm not very optimistic. I'm kind of very jaded here. It looks like here with Canoe, though, this is much more than a block rip here. This is a broader rip here on Canoe. And I have still not seen any news on this. Let me go pull up Canoe again, just to see if I have anything. Go EV. No. We've got individual company news here. We've got Canoe rallies after recommendation on Wall Street bets. There you go. There you go. I'll pull it up. Let's if I have it. Well, I'll pull it up. Yeah, we'll pull it up here. All right. Reddit. Jeez. Canoe is highly short. This is one that I've been playing as well. We've been talking about this one for a while. Let's go to Wall Street Bets. Wall Street Bets. And let's see if we can see Go EV here somewhere. Go EV. I actually don't see it. Canoe. Canoe press release 5 hours ago. This is it? Is this really what's pushing it? Really? This was news yesterday. Go EV is still attempting to climb to $10 and sustain ahead of their investor relations on the 17th. And as a prelude, they released their air purifying climate control with UV technology. Okay, big deal. I can't believe that this would be... I love the comments. I'm in. Oh, I love it. Oh, it's great. I cannot see how that is possibly a catalyst here. Well, thanks, Georgia, for the $5 shout out there. I appreciate that. Always the goal to spread as much love and we can. Oh no! Keep in mind, I was counting my money late one night when my eyes beheld a most frightful sight. There's only 55 million euro or pounds in my account, so I hatched a plan to get a larger amount. Let's cause a crash. Well, cause a monster crash. A monster crash. Let's make loads of cash. A monster crash. Get filthy rich in a flash. A monster crash. And I'll increase my stash. I've got a great big mansion in the rural Southwest, an ancestral home and a London address. I got a hedge fund company. Money offshore, but it's just not enough. I still want more. Let's cause a crash. We'll cause it. Oh my gosh. Okay. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm getting lost in the Reddit here. This is not healthy, Kevin. Back off. Okay, yeah, Canoe still ripping here. Very good. I mean, it's ripping off Wall Street Bets here. Canoe's got a big short interest percentage. Boy, oh boy. We can look up how short it is. It's going though. Boy, oh boy. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm just watching this tick and tick and tick. You know, part of me is like, oh man, I want in, but then again, I also kind of want to wait for consolidation, but then watch it goes up 30%, you know? Lordstown up 9.5% now. Kind of getting a little bit of a recovery here, momentum. %12 now. It's another, 1.5 percentage points. I mean, actually, since we started talking about it, it's up about 60 cents here. Just in the last couple seconds here. Well, minutes, I should say, a couple minutes. I love it. Look at the volume that is just plowed in. I've already had all the Tesla tequila. Nope. So I'm glad we had a somewhat recovery here on momentum. It's interesting to me that it's heavily focused right now on Canoe. It's doing very well. We have what I want to do is, man, I'd love to wait for a pause, but I don't think I'm going to get it. Let's see here. I'm going to go back to prior days where we've had these sort of pushes. Let's see if I can find. Here we go. Here we go. See, you get a period of consolidation usually after the volume. Here's just an example, right? I want to look at the volume numbers, though. 217, 240, 250, 233, 24, basically, and then down to the ones. Okay. I understand. And right now, the volume we have is, oh my gosh, the volume is huge right now. Holy smokes. Yeah, the volume's way bigger than during that last run. Wow, it's so big. All right. Let's see here. All right, perfect. All right, so, well, we're watching GoEV take off. We have watched Lordstown vacillate here from about 7% to 10%. It was as high as 14% intraday. Okay, one second here. That's boring. That's boring. That's boring. Let's go see if we got anything here on Fox. Oh, there we go. All right, what you got, Fox? What do we got? Spaces? Let's see.
And these banks are moving to a new flexible way of supporting their teams.
Good.
They're asking their workers, and their workers are telling them, please don't ask me to come back to the office every day. Provide me with an office locally, and that's what we're doing. So we provide offices near where people live some of the time. They can just drop in and use them. And that's what Standard Chartered went for. It reduces their cost, reduces their carbon footprint, and it's what their people want. And they believe they will get more talent in the future when they're hiring. And that's very important to them by having this flexible offer where they can employ people anywhere.
Very interesting. Very quickly, Mark, I'm not sure how to word this, but has the pandemic presented an opportunity?
Yeah, this is boring. Look at GoEV. It just rocketed again. Oh my gosh, it's up 15 now. So I should have just bought it like 5 minutes ago, and we'd be up like 5%. Up 16, 17% now. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The volume is very, very, very good right now. Somebody said I bought when you were, yeah. Well, hey, I mean, good for you. Like, look, I'm all, don't wait for me to buy something. If you can make money because you see it here on the channel and I'm like, oh, something's starting to run. Oh, it was mentioned on Wall Street Bets. Oh, look, it's starting to go. Do it. Go make money. I'm happy for y'all. Do it. %19. Dude. Wow. The volume is, oh my gosh, 1 million shares in a minute? What? Oh, it's so good. Oh, squeeze them, boys and girls. Squeeze them. That's really good. Wow. Wow. That's a run. You can really run. Oh my gosh. That's nuts. Uh-huh. Kind of consolidating a little bit. RSI max. I know, like I can't, and this is my problem. Like I see this run, like I recognize that in myself. I see this run, and I'm like, oh, I missed it. No, I didn't. Canoe is the only thing that's positive in your portfolio today. If your portfolio is heavy momentum, you've had a rough day. Like seriously, you've had a rough day. Okay, red candling now on Canoe. Time to get out. What if it was that fast? It could be. But sometimes it takes a little longer for Reddit to really pump the stuff when they want to pump stuff. Like I'm just an observer here. I don't have a horse in this race, but yeah, it's obviously it's expected to see some consolidation. Let's see if we get more than 2 minutes of red here. Sometimes you get, and it's gone. Sometimes you get these pushes and they go straight back down. Okay. So yeah, we're sitting at 14.8, 14.1 now. Yeah, here's our second red candle. And we're rotating to the downside now. The volume's falling. This is a very big block. Like if I put, like, for example, 50K into it, right? 50K divided by $10, that's 5,000 shares, right? We would have to like for 1 million shares to be traded, that's like $10 million. I mean, I guess, you know, a bunch of people together. Yeah, that would be possible. I would totally offer shares if my company had a retail pump. Yeah. Ay. AMC 4.5. Yeah, AMC's just been flat. It's kind of boring. Look at this. AMC's just done nothing. Flat. Ah, man. It is ascending, though. I like this pattern better than what we had earlier in the day. You have a nice ascending pattern here. That's not bad. You've got 4 touches here, 1 break. But it's ascending, which is nice. And we're ascending towards that trend line. Or rather our resistance right now. Previous support. Which it broke through that support pretty fast. Oh, it's stuck there for a little bit. Look at that. You got a double bounce off that. Actually, you had like a triple here. Bounce, 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 break. And when it broke, it broke. That is interesting. All right, well, we'll see where this goes. All right, so Root, Nicola, Build-A-Bear, you guys are all getting wrecked. The flatness is killing your options. Yeah, nobody likes flat. It just takes money from you day after day. Theta decay. Darn. See, look at this. Canoe. It's literally following this pattern. What did we say? Let's see if it does 2 minutes of red and then goes green again. It literally did it. Oh, man. Oh, dear. Yeah. All right. What else do we have? Pinterest got 2.65% here. Okay. We've got. So it looks like otherwise, this is just a momentum beatdown of the day. Personally, let's see. Hold on. Let's look at Roku. Oh, Roku just got wrecked a bit. Earlier today, it looks like. Be interesting. Yeah, it kind of slid almost all day. Yeah, that is interesting. So a lot of momentum getting wrecked today. Part of me is tempted to potentially pick up some options. You know, you've got GoEV that's getting pushed by Reddit right now. GoEV getting pushed by Reddit is why you're seeing this like 14% move here. But the volume is subsiding. You can kind of see these little waves come in on GoEV and then it pulls out. I am interested, though, in potentially picking up something here. I mean, look at this. Lemonade falling under 96. I think some of this is a little overblown due to fears of what the Fed is going to say tomorrow. So you've got some higher multiple stocks getting sort of drugged down here. Let's see here. Let's see here. So higher multiple stocks selling off with momentum, to me, is a sign of fear. What's our CBOE doing today, our VIX? Yeah, see, the VIX is up. Not much, because we're just not in like a broader market panic mode. It's just momentum and higher PE stocks that are selling down today. Poshmark is a mix of, it's had some momentum, but higher PE as well. Lemonade, Plug Power has been a momentum play. Gosh, it's back at 28 here. Yeah, definitely a lot of weakness in these guys right now. Even SoFi. SoFi CRISPR's just, ouchies, kind of been flat. Yeah, look at the flatness on CRISPR here since March. It's just been flat. Invitae, down. Yikes. Matterport's down a little bit as well. Tattooed Chef falls 2.93 after earlier it was doing well. Look at that Tesla. Tesla down 2.8% right now. Just a bleed. Just slow bleed of a day. Rough day. It started pretty neutral. We didn't have too many things like heavy red. So on GoEV, though, we had a brief moment of consolidation. Yeah, and now we're pumping again on GoEV. So you see these volume peaks come here all of a sudden. Let's go look at the past here on GoEV. Yeah, our downside is usually in the 9s for GoEV. We've gone below 9 before. We had a period of going into these 7s over here, but usually we seem to bounce around 9. We've had some major changes at the company, though, since we were last at $15. So it's sometimes a little hard to justify getting back to 15 because the company kind of U-turned on which direction they want to go. They want to do more commercial vehicles versus... Amazon launches new full-size grocery store. Hold on, let's look at this.
Industry. And now that we've had a global pandemic where grocery store shopping online has taken off, and you would think it would be, prime for Amazon, I feel like Walmart is still the biggest competitor in the room with their lower prices. Is Amazon making a dent here on the competition?
You're totally right, Sarah. Amazon is not making the dent that we all expected. You mentioned Kroger stock, but there were even grocers from around the world who saw their stock prices cater on the announcement of Amazon buying Whole Foods. And you're right, Sarah, Walmart is still number one. It's the biggest U.S. grocer. Amazon's share is still very small when you look at total groceries. It's just over 3%, making it fifth on the list, according to estimates from industry experts, because Amazon doesn't really reveal the nitty-gritty details like that. But when you look online, Amazon is number two for online grocery. Again, number two to Walmart. And believe it or not, they actually lost share over the last 2 years in online grocery. Again, according to industry estimates from Digital Commerce 360, which is the one that most use.
And Court, does this more formal move, as you said, into bricks and mortar spell the end of the Whole Foods brand, or vice versa at some point in the future? And if not, which is the sort of more premium brand? Because they kind of both, when you shop online, stock each other's products.
Yeah, exactly, Wolf. I think we don't really know if this new pilot that combines this Amazon Go technology with the learnings from having Whole Foods running as a pure grocery store and a physical component will eventually supplant what we see as Whole Foods currently. I think they're really using sort of learnings from their own technology and a traditional grocery store to figure that out. And I think, frankly, it's just going to be some time before we really know. And a lot of analysts that I talked to, and I said, hey, but it's been 4 years, they haven't made a dent, said, give them time, give them time. It's Amazon, and I think if you're a traditional grocer, you're still afraid of what could come, even though 4 years in.
That's a good point.
It hasn't
it's kind of interesting to think about, just that, like, oh man, imagine you being the Albertsons or the Ralphs or the Publix. I mean, I think Amazon has some potential damage to send their way. So, all right, let's go ahead and go back to the sticks here. I'm particularly paying attention right now to Go EV. Go EV is getting getting pushed here. We've got a lot of volume that has come into Go EV. We personally like Go EV. We've traded Go EV frequently, and I've enjoyed trading Go EV. We are presently at 18.66% to the upside. We've been watching it since it was about $10, but apparently waiting for consolidation at $10 is not good when you're early, because then volume exploded. So yeah, let's see here. Okay, give me 1 second here. Okay, so Torchlight is still ripping on that special dividend, which is really where you're getting a share of some of the assets that'll be liquidated in Torchlight, but then you'll also get the Meta shares after. So pretty incredible movement here. Much of the movement got baked in pretty early in the day. We were up about 33% earlier in the day, and then we did move up to the 46% level here. So good job on that. All right, and then we have AMC up about 5% right now. Okay. By the way, David Deal? I want to say David Deal. David Deal, thank you for the $100 donation to the campaign. We do have the campaign donation link up, by the way. We've updated it. So go to meetkevin.com/donate. And there's a $75 option, $195 option, $395, $420, $500, $1,000. We might add some things to that, so you could check that every so often. But if you want to donate to the campaign while also getting things related to stocks or real estate, meetkevin.com/donate. So check that out. Meetkevin.com/donate. So, yep, I'm in AMC. I've not moved my shares on AMC. They're up about 4.7 right now. The big mover right now, though, is really Canoe. This is a really interesting pump here that I've been watching. Carefully watching this to see potentially volume evaporate before we get to the close of business day here. And, of course, see if there's any opportunity to come in a little cheaper when that volume evaporates. Because when that volume rotates away, I do expect pricing to rotate down. Do have some pricing pressure. The company did just tweeted about tweeted about pre-ordering their car. I've actually pre-ordered one of theirs. I think it'll be. I don't know if it'll ever come out though. That's the thing. Yeah. So other momentum movers though here. Big pain today. Root, Nikola, Express, Fisker, all these guys down 9 to 10%. Lemonade's down 7.37%. Churchill Capital down 6.3%. BNGO 5.63%. Peloton 531. Got Unity's down. CRISPR down 4%. Today's a rough day. Day right before the Fed speaks. It's not a surprise to see some pain here. We do have a tiny little red bar coming in here to Go EV. So we'll keep an eye on this. Let's see what else we have here. Let's try Fox. Good timing to look for a bigger car. Oh dear. Yeah, used car market has been incredible. Let's listen
to returns in market environments that are flat or down. That's really powerful. So we thought about this as, is there a way to bring in-house more of that kind of capability, which we call market neutral investing, meaning it's agnostic as to the underlying direction of Bitcoin, Ethereum, cryptocurrency, all of that. This is a strategy that seeks to make money regardless of what noise is happening sort of underneath the hood.
Well, talking of noise, what about Elon Musk? Every time he puts out a tweet, so whether it's positive or negative, it does have a big impact on the price. Is that a healthy scenario?
Yeah, I think you're seeing it pretty widespread right now in financial markets, not just cryptocurrency. You look at some of the things that have been happening in the stock market. With Elon, at the end of the day, I think he's a incredibly intelligent human being.
Hey, there you go. Brandon, look at this. Brandon says he just made 1,200%. You must have had like a 2-week option or something like that. But yeah, good job. I mean, seriously, make your money and don't feel bad if it goes up more. You know, it's bouncing around that 18, 19% level right now. That I don't feel bad about that at all. You get in, the momentum is declining a little right now, so it's possible that the momentum could slow here. We've been watching it. We've been watching some of these larger peaks on Go EV here really push the stock price to new levels. Been kind of stable here, though, even at 500,000 shares. This is a lot of activity here. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm a big fan of if you've got profit in a swing, milk it, milk it, milk it. Absolutely. We've been watching this, I want to say, since it was up about 5%. We've watched this move a solid 14, 13% here in just the last bit. So if you have short-term options, they could move very, very quickly and very expensively. And if you can buy, sell quickly, hey, why not? Take your money and run. But right now, you've still got a good movement happening here, good strength here. We've got Root at 10.12%, Nikola 9.47%. Ashford, Express, Build-A-Bear, yeah, okay. Let's see here. All right, let's go ahead and hop on over to Fox for a moment. Since we are talking about cryptos here, let's give it a listen.
Most of the people I worked with in my former life were big institutions, sovereigns, pension funds, universities, things like that. And now, fast forward the clock 4 years, that adoption, that kind of grasp of what this is and why it's important is really taking hold. And I didn't necessarily know when we would see it at the nation state level, but now we have with El Salvador. And immediately, as you see, there's 6 other countries in Central America and South America who have lined up to follow suit and adopt this as legal tender or put through some form of law or bill to do so. And the same is true on the institutional side with investors, large pools of capital who are saying this is an attractive asset to have as part of an investment portfolio. There are all sorts of risks in the world. There's risks to the US dollar, and the way that the monetary supply has been getting inflated over the last year is pretty frightening. And if you just leave your money in the dollar, heck, maybe you're going to lose half of it over the next 5 years. And that's in America. if you think about like 70% of the world where human beings are facing rampant inflation, demonetization of their currencies, capital controls, corrupt governments and regimes, something like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency becomes an incredibly, incredibly powerful force that billions of people around the planet need.
You make your case very well. We'll have to leave it right there. But every development is fascinating in this space, there's no doubt. Matthew Getz with Block Tower Capital, the CEO. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Ash. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
It'll be interesting to see other countries adopting Bitcoin as a currency. I mean, I think it's very, very fascinating to me. And I mean, to me, I think it's a wonderful head start. It's a really great start for the currencies or for countries, because if you end up using your own currency, you're subject to all the potential risk that politics lead to hyperinflation. It becomes a disaster. Ugh. It's not bad at all to use cryptocurrency, in my opinion, as a legal tender. So DraftKings down right now about 4.6. So got about 5% on. No, we're about 6% up on that. Bought it when it was down about 10% this morning. Waiting for a potential pop tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Right now, we do have a GoEV swing that swung pretty incredibly. It wouldn't surprise me to see a little bit of a sell-off before the close of business here. You could see some profit taking from the traders who did move in on GoEV here for a move and then a rotation down. Okay. Lordstown moving nicely, still sitting at about 10%. Still skeptical here. They're very skeptical. People talk about dark pools. Okay, yeah. Dark pools are pretty misunderstood. They're not as like horrible as they come across. It's basically just doing a deal without going through an exchange. So think about it this way. Think about you have a house that's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in a 4-bedroom, or well, let's put it this way here. Okay, hold on a sec. Let's do this. There we go. Here's my explanation on dark pools. They sound dark and dirty, but in reality, I like to compare it to real estate. So think about having a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house that's 1,300 square feet in a 1950s neighborhood. And all the houses around you are 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,300 square feet. They're just all cookie cutter houses. And these cookie cutter houses are all, in our comparison, basically shares of a company. So say they're all shares of AMC. A usual way a property would sell is the property would go on something known as the multiple listing service and then get exchanged in the open market where everybody was able to bid on it and everybody was able to help set the market price for that. A dark pool, in my opinion, is my comparison of essentially having brokers say, hey, we don't actually need to put this on the multiple listing service. We can sell this amongst each other off market. So we got to buy 10 million shares of AMC. You got to sell 10 million shares of AMC, just like this 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. I got to sell it. You got to buy it. Why don't we just do the transaction outside of the exchange? When you do the transaction outside of the exchange, both parties are not wanting to get ripped off, right? Like the person buying 10 million shares and the person selling 10 million shares, they're going to want to pay roughly what market value is. They're generally not paying vastly different sums. Now, sometimes there are slight discounts because, for example, if somebody says, hey, look, if I put in an order to buy 10 million shares right now, it's going to jack the price up like 5% on the open market. Why don't I just pay you like a 3% premium right now over what the market value is? And we exchange this on in sort of the dark pools. That's my understanding of essentially how dark pools work. Think of it as just sort of like private off-market transactions. You still have reasonable people wanting not to get ripped off. So this is why when people said things like, oh, the dark pool price of AMC is $1,500. Personally, that didn't make sense to me because it defies logic and maybe I don't understand, right? And this is where I always want to come across as transparently and consciously incompetent about all of the details. So I'd rather come across as clearly making it very clear, I'm not an expert in this. I believe that this is approximately how it works, and it seems logical to me. So what seems logical to me is that what seems illogical is a dark pool selling AMC shares for $1,500. Who would buy that? Like nobody's gonna buy that. Nobody. It makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. Under no circumstance would somebody buy that when I could swipe up on Robinhood and buy the shares for $60. So that seems odd to me, and that's why I don't believe this whole like dark pool rumor mill stuff. I mean, anybody can just go into like their dark pool computer and inspect element and change the price to whatever they want, and then take a screenshot of it. Like it's very easy to do. So those are just my thoughts on dark pools related to AMC. I do not think that these rumor screenshots we see are anything but, honestly, like sometimes I think the hedgies like purposefully try to screw people and then confuse them, and by creating hope, and then that hope ends up not being real, then people get demoralized because it's kind of like, oh well, I thought that was gonna work. Oh man, that went away. And it's kind of like they're feeding us bullcrap to weaken us. But like if we can look at their bullcrap, like Paul Tudor Jones or James or whatever, Paul Tudor dude going, yeah, you know, commodities are like really, really short. They're so massively shorted, you know, geez, all it would take is like a Reddit to come in and golly, Reddit could like 3x this. Like, really? Like, we can't see through your nonsense that you're trying to bait people? As long as we're wise about the baiting that happens of the Reddit community, then together we can actually be stronger. Now, sometimes I say these things about like, hey, here's just my opinion on how dark pools work. Here's my opinion on why something's not necessarily an AMC catalyst. And I'm actually trying to help the movement by keeping people like on the straight and narrow. Like, no. Stay focused on real catalysts, like provable catalysts. The reason for that is if you get too hyped up on nonsense catalysts, and those end up fizzling, well, then you're more likely to paper hand because the catalysts that you keep believing in are false. That's dangerous, right? That's bad for the movement. It's net bad. So I'm all about the net positive. Like what's actually happening? And that's very important to me. So that's my take on what dark pools are. If you found that helpful, join my courses. Use that coupon code link down below to get 40% off. All right. Thanks so much. Good. So now let's go back to, oh man, come on, man. What is this? 14.57% on GoEV now. It's selling down. It's not good. I mean, kind of honestly expected in going into the close. I personally don't want to hold it overnight. I'm not holding it overnight because I also didn't buy it. It was too much of a baby. But who knows? I mean, you could get a pre-market pump. But what a lot of day traders do is they take their profits and then they just like, okay, well, I'll just come back tomorrow then. And if it pumps again, cool. I'll start over tomorrow. So, and dark pool. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, here we go. So, Canoe sitting kind of, yeah, the volume's plummeting, folks. That was a quick move on Wall Street bets, I have to say. Like 14%, that's, I mean, the volume here is evaporated, but look at the volume. Like, let's go to the 30-minute volume. Oh my gosh, in 30 minutes we had 14.5 million shares followed by 8 million shares. That's like, let's go to the hour here. Just put it all together. Oh, I can't. 16 plus about 8. That's 24 million shares. That's $24 million moving around. Thanks to one Wall Street Bets post which honestly was lame. Like, it was such a lame post. And I'm not trying to offend the author of this post, but if this is the post that pumped GoEV, it's kind of sad. There's gotta be another one, because that's just too. There's like nothing with that. 6 hours ago, 8 hours ago. Oh, here's another one. Ready to take shorts for a ride? Well, we already know it's 30% short. Man, see, that's what you should do. Is you should, like, all you have to do is invest in a stock, then post it on Reddit, and then hope you get upvotes. Maybe you have like a bot that like upvotes like 50 of them for you. Sorry, that's evil. Don't do that. But yeah, wow. You see, like, you're the poster and you're here. I mean, you just made yourself tendies by posting like that. So good job. Yeah, you could see some more after hours tendies for sure. Let's go look at the short interest here quickly. Let's see what we have. Short interest. I'm going to pull up the Black app. Apps. All right, pulling this up here. One sec. All right, it's almost up. Let's go. All right, CoEV. That's what we're gonna do. Is the short interest on this one? Start here. Okay, here we go. I got it. Okay, GoEV. We have 30.67% short, and it's slightly declining. Hold on a sec. Let's take a look at this here. They moving to Florida?
Income tax, those taxes and other taxes are going up even more now. Combine that with potential work from home abilities with Zoom, and you get it. People are trying to make it work. Now, we should point out there's some blowback from the banks. James Gorman yesterday, the CEO of Morgan Stanley said, we may have to lower your salary. If you want to work in Colorado, you're not going to make New York salaries. And, there's pushback all over the place. But, if jobs keep opening up there, hedge funds keep moving there, talent is going to go there, whether the big banks like it or not. Ashley, back to you.
You are absolutely right, Charlie. And maybe New York and New Jersey can get a clue when it comes to taxing these people.
Yeah, New York and New Jersey. Try California getting a clue with their tax increases. All right, so GoEV here, softening into the close a little bit. Lordstown, CBOE. Volatility up slightly. We've got 8 minutes to the close here. AMC is pretty quiet in volume here. Actually, no, that's not true. Yeah, I mean, we've got, that's 5 minute volume. Oh, yeah. No, never mind. That is pretty low volume. Yeah, that's pretty soft going into the close. I mean, this is flat. I think we broke our line here too. So we could get rid of this. That just did nothing. No movement at all. It's literally just the flat line. That's what we should have had. Flat line. Just like something like, you see it. Come on, Weeble. There we go. Yeah, something like this. By the way, you can always go down to the link below and go to metkevin.com/Weeble, deposit $100 and get 2 free stocks worth up to $1,850. metkevin.com/Weeble. metkevin.com/Weeble. Let's see here. Yeah, CCIV, in my opinion, is going to be one that runs when we actually see. Here we go. When we actually see production. Until then, we've got big headwinds for GoEV. I'm sorry, for CCIV. I mean, GoEV too. I mean, like, fundamentally, even GoEV's got some problems. Good move today, though. Very nice. All right. What else? You got CNBC on this? What happened the last 15 minutes commercial free? All right. Here we go.
Shares of Lordstown. You can see that's where they moved higher after the executive chairman Angela Strand, who was the independent director on the company, she says this is a new day for the automaker and that nothing has changed in terms of their production plans. And those plans, just to remind everybody, include starting production on the Endurance electric pickup truck. That's their first model. Planning on starting that production by the end of September, which has been their guidance for some time now.
See, raising money to increase capacity. Of course, they're going to have to. They're making it so clear they're going to dilute these shares.
And they're looking to raise money to possibly increase production. By the way,
they can't produce without raising money. They literally said it. They can't produce without raising money. They have to raise money. It's going to be a big fat dilution. I'd like to get in after they raise a ton of money.
Other people saying this is what we are all about and this is our plan. Let's see what happens over the next couple of months as they look for a capital infusion and perhaps a strategic investor. Guys, back to you.
Philip, thanks so much for that. Lordstown was targeted by Hindenburg Research back in March when the firm called it the Lordstown Motors Mirage. Hindenburg now going after another company taking a short position against DraftKings. In its latest report, the firm questions DraftKings' promotional spending and alleges that
DraftKings actually moving up slightly here into the close here. We were a little higher on the day, still down 4% on DraftKings. We did add to, well, I actually initiated a position this morning on this one when it was down about between 11 and 10%. This was after we started picking some holes in their report within the first few minutes of reading it, which was honestly quite sad. We then continued to read more and find more holes in their story. So I expect this one to chill out, basically. We'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. Canoe. I love that it's rallying into the close. Yeah, we had our trader kind of sell down here, but this could set up. I mean, the short interest is there. It's not as short as like a workhorse. Workhorse, I'm still, let me look at these. Let me look at some of the losers here. We got 3 minutes left. Oh, man. Let's look at the losers here. So Root's gone down to the 8 level. We're at about 1078 right now. Vroom is not like an epic low. Wow, 10% on Ashford. Ashford's done very, very well here recently. Build-A-Bear's done very well. Yeah, Lemonade's had a little cut down. Lemonade could go down a little bit more, though, before. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see Lemonade look at it. Look at that triple touch here, right here. This is a beautiful triple touch on Lemonade on the day chart. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. Right there at 79.65. Boom, boom, boom. That's when you know your entry is. You got a little bit of an oversell beyond that to like 59, but otherwise, triple touch at 79. I'd like that. That I like. Sens, Tilray, BNGO, Peloton. Yeah, Peloton suffering a little bit here into the close. Workhorse, though. Where's Workhorse sitting right now? 14? Yeah, that's pretty close to our line. If I could get an oversell on this, ooh, it'd be juicy. But otherwise, I think Workhorse still has good potential here. Almost barely broke completely below our line. Didn't do it. Arrival's rallying now. Let's see. We can see what their short interest is, too. Oh, yeah. Arrival's having a little bit of a move here. Oh, yeah. Arrival's up about 10%. Nice. Let's see what Arrival's short interest is. You like Workhorse for a gap up tomorrow? Yeah, Arrival's about 6.88% short. Oh, DraftKings on Hindenburg report says report written by someone who is short on company stock with incentive to drive down share price. No, duh. Duh. Like, duh. That's your response so far? Come on, man. It's like calling the Pope Catholic. Oh my gosh, everyone, breaking news. The Pope is Catholic. Can't handle it.
On the Dow right now is Salesforce, CRM, Home Depot, JP Morgan, and Disney. The biggest contributor to the gains, American Express. Very bullish interview with the CEO of Amex with Jim Cramer on Mad Money last night, saying travel bookings in May are 95% of what they were pre-pandemic. S&P 500. It is lower. It is off a record high, but you've got strength in groups like energy, industrials, utilities, and financials, weakness in real estate, technology, and consumer discretionary. Tech is lower. Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, Google, PayPal, they're all lower. That's dragging down the NASDAQ just a bit from record highs ahead of what we've all been talking about, which is kind of a nail biter of a Fed meeting, which is coming out in less than 24 hours. Will Jay Powell acknowledge inflation and make any changes?
We will have to wait and see for that. Looking forward to that tomorrow. We are down, but only slightly at the close here. Welcome to the closing bell. I'm Wilfred Frost, along with Sarah Eisen and Mike Santola, CNBC senior markets commentator. All three of the major averages lower. The S&P by 0.2, the Dow by 0.3%, the Nasdaq the worst by 0.7%. Energy comfortably the best performing sector, up 2%. At the bottom of the pile, real estate, technology, consumer discretionary. Financials were positive, but less than they had been earlier in the session. Citi sliding 1.8% into the close. Some comments from Mark Mason, the CFO, just spooking investors there a little bit, downplaying expectations in both investment banking and for reserve release ahead of the next quarter's earnings.
All right, let's go ahead and pull down off this here. So let's see what we got here. Yep, Canoe pushing about a couple percent here in the after hours. Yeah, that is something we were potentially expecting, is a little bit of a retail push in the after hours here. We've got Canoe's. Personally, it's a great one. I love it. I'm not going to hold this thing overnight, though, or go into it to hold it overnight. We'll see what happens tomorrow. No rush. Sometimes you just miss. You know, it's like when you're playing at the casino. You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. So Lordstown to me is a joke. I'm not shorting the stock. I'm just very disappointed in what's happening at the company. We have AMC only ending up 3.42% today. Very disappointing after the incredible run that we've had. We've got CBOE, Pinterest, Marathon Dig, Roblox. Yeah, Roblox 2.33. It's better than the loss we had yesterday. I mean, it's back down to 89. It was usually easily in the 90s over just the past few weeks here. Otherwise, it's been very range bound between 65 and 73. I don't know. You know, if Roblox went back down to like the low 60s, I might potentially be interested in that. You good at the tables? Bring me the tables. I'm fun at the tables. Tables, oh man, Vegas. I want to go back. It'd be fun. Root, 10% to the downside. Yep, a lot of the momentum got crushed today. Yep, let's do it. Yep. Root, Ashford, Nicola, Build-A-Bear, Express, Nano Dimension, Lemonade, all these guys momentum movers. I do want to take a look and see how things are moving in the after hours for some here. Get AMC here. Yeah, AMC sitting at pretty much flat in the after hours. Obviously, volume plummets in the afters. Got GoEV. Yeah, GoEV here at about 13 to... Yeah, okay, a little bit of volume. It's decent volume in the after hours. Up about 1%. Slightly moving up. Roblox. Let's take a look at CNBC here. Let's see what we got.
To where to go next. So people are going to more trusted names as, in some ways, if you will, a storage spot. We saw last month, in fact, our clients were net sellers of equities and putting money in some of the interest rate products. I don't think they're there long term. It's a lot of shorter term interest rate products until they get a sense of what's next in equities in order to return with more confidence.
Joe, Apple obviously sliding a bit today, as we just mentioned. I mentioned as well how banks slid into the close, and we'll have to keep an eye on them as we approach earnings season. It does kind of highlight the fact that there's no real clear sectors that have underperformed so far year to date. And with the seasonality to some months to come, do you ever look at this and think, look, it's worth just sitting on the sidelines for the rest of this year? We've already had great gains.
Very insightful, Wilf. Absolutely. Sometimes the best trade is no trade. I think if you reflect back upon the last 16 months, clearly the last 2 or 3 weeks have been the worst environment if you are an active trader. So volatility continues to compress itself. There continues to be this game of daily rotation in terms of pick your winner. That's not a favorable environment for trading. I think it's more looking towards what the investment strategy should be as we move towards the end of the year into 2020. You're going to get very valuable insight from corporations. I would argue that the July earnings period might be one of the more relevant earnings periods that we have had in multiple quarters. That's really going to tell you the story looking forward, in particular relating to wage and input pressure on corporations.
Bingo.
Mike, I wanted to bring up trade because there was big news this morning, and that is the U.S. and Europe have now, they're meeting in Brussels, have now suspended all tariffs relating to this long-running dispute between Airbus and Boeing as a sign of goodwill, right? They want to stand up together against China, and they want to show that this is a very different approach to the last administration. You had that. You've had other tariffs coming off, U.S. alcohol like whiskey and bourbon. As signs of good faith. The market doesn't appear to be reacting much to it, which is a little bit odd because tariffs do hold back growth, increased costs for companies, and do represent a tailwind in this administration, don't they?
I'm going to pull off this here. I want to touch on one of the things that we just heard mentioned here. So big thing that we just heard mentioned here is the next earnings cycles. And here's the thing, I'll gladly touch on this. So big thing for me going forward is earnings cycles. And here, you know what? Let's see here. All right. Okay. So a lot of folks ask me regularly about earnings cycles and what impact they might have on the market going forward. And the big thing that I look at is what inflation expectations and readings can we get out of the next sets of earnings? So remember our earnings calendar. We have a Q1, which is January through March. Then we have Q2, which is April, May, and June. We're at the end of June right now. So come the beginning of July to the end of July, we're going to be sitting in earnings season again for Q2. So next month, so about a month from now, we're going to get a lot of data. And that data is going to tell us not just, hey, are consumers still buying online? Are consumers still buying cars? But we're going to see what margin pressures look like. This is probably the most important thing for you to look at if you are honestly a fundamental investor or a trader. Like even as a trader, I would be looking at margins. The first companies to report in July should give you an indicator as to whether or not companies overall are starting to suffer with margins, or if they're pricing through these margin pressures. The reason you would have margin pressures would be inflation or prices going up due to inflation. And I guarantee you, when corporate executives start answering to their analysts, hey, why are your earnings down? Or why are your net earnings down? So you've got revenues, right? And it goes through the system. Hey, why is your net down? Why are your earnings per share down? Oh, well, we missed on margin. Well, wait, why did you miss on margin? What's more likely? The company is going to say, oh, well, yeah, we became a little less efficient. We just didn't try as hard this last sector. Or are they more likely to say something like, yeah, well, that's all because of inflation. Wages are going up. We're having to pay people more money, and we're seeing we're seeing lasting inflation pressures, and we're doing our best to deal with them. But that's why our margins went down. If that happens, you could see sort of a renewed fear around inflation. I wouldn't be shocked to see some of that happen here with second quarter earnings. This is why personally I'm most interested not in the second quarter, but the third quarter. The third quarter is what I'm really paying attention to. I want to know what happened between July, August, and September, which we're going to know that in the month of October. In the month of October, I expect that any kind of marginal damage we had in Q1 or Q2 to start inflecting back up in a better direction. That is, I expect things to get better, not worse. I hope so. I hope I'm right about that. But that's where I'm leaning with about 70 to 80% conviction that we're going to see inflation inflect down. We're going to see less wage prices. We're going to see those supply chain issues start freeing up a little bit. That'll be very important. So for me, it's not so much July's quarter that I'm paying attention to. I'm really watching October for that next big catalyst, for that next big mover. And quite frankly, I think October, if things go well with those reports, could end up being or creating a beautiful winter season for stocks. Like October's data will ricochet through not only part of October, but November, December, and then early January until we get Q4 data. So just some of my thoughts on timing that I'm looking at for exactly which earnings reports I'm looking for, and then what I'll be looking for in them. Though keep in mind, we're going to probably have to wait until sometime around mid-July to really start getting these earnings reports. All right, let's go ahead and listen to this. We got some breaking news here.
As chairwoman of the Federal Trade Commission. Now, Khan was just confirmed by the Senate to be a commissioner at the FTC today by a vote of 69 to 28. But now a source telling us that she would actually lead the agency, someone who is noted as a vocal critic of big tech companies. In fact, one industry group called NetChoice said that Khan's antitrust activism detracts from the Federal Trade Commission's reputation as an impartial body that enforces the law in a non-discriminatory fashion. She is someone who has worked at the House Judiciary Committee on that big antitrust investigation into big tech companies like Facebook and Google. Now, a source telling us the White House plans to tap Lina Khan as chairwoman.
You're preheating tendies with that kind of prediction. Sorry, this report here is a little boring. Hey, we'll see. We'll see, man. You gotta have that oven preheated, you know? Oh, let's see what Kudlow has to say about the V.
50% for 3 months, and producer prices are up 10% for 3 months. There are issues here. And you have to ask some tough questions about the Fed, and you have to ask some tough questions about Biden's infrastructure spending as well. What do you think?
So, Larry, I think the Fed has made 3 mistakes. One, I don't think they took into account the power of consumer net worth, which is up tens of trillions of dollars year over year because of a booming stock market and rising home prices. That's a number that really does lead spending. And I think the Fed really underestimated what that would mean. Secondly, I think they really missed the labor problem. Labor is unavailable. Wages are going up, leading to higher prices. And I think they totally missed what the unemployment benefits, the cash payments on child tax credits, all the things in the rescue plan might mean for the ability to hire workers. This is a really serious shortage. We see it everywhere. And third, over the past year, we've seen inventories dwindle and dwindle. There is a real shortage of goods. So,
you know what we're going to do now? Shorts. Who's ready to do the shorts? We're going to do the shorts, okay? All right, hold on. I'm going to pull this up. We're going to look at Ehor first. Ehor is always fun to look at. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up. All right. All right, Ehor. This guy just hands this out like candy. All right, you ready? Ready for the shorts? Let's go. All right, let me start this. Hey everyone, me Kevin here. In this video, we are going to stock Ehor Duzaniskwi, something of that effect. He works at S3 Partners. He has access to the Black app because, well, he works at that company. I have access to the Black app as well because I pay for it. He knows how to use it very, very well. And so I'm just going to stock his Twitter. And let's go through and add some commentary on it. So here's Ehor. Look. Oh, wait, I can't zoom in anymore. Wait, it was supposed to be dramatic. It was supposed to be like this. Look, it's Ehor. All right, we got it. All right, so here we go. FRX. So FRX, folks. FRX has been sitting at like $10. It's a SPAC. It's been sitting at $10 for a while. You've got a former Disney executive there. I have an interview with this company on my channel. If you go to YouTube, type in Meet Kevin FRX, you should find it. Forest Road Acquisition Company. Anyway, they're about 19.23% short. I think they were heavily shorted as a sort of SPAC attack. A lot of SPACs got destroyed and heavily shorted. I haven't seen a lot of momentum push towards FRX, so I briefly held some position in it. I took about $1,000 of profit on it, and I left. I just didn't see any kind of real activity in momentum coming. I do think, though, it's just a matter of time before we see momentum on FRX. Just so you can see the ticker here, as well as another one that's moving right now. I want to show you Canoe in just a moment. But we've got FRX right now. It's sitting at about $10.09. Sometimes you can honestly trade this one where you buy it close to 10, and then when it hits 11, you just go ring the bell and get out. That's a common strategy with FRX. Long run, obviously, it's seen as an affordable alternative to Peloton. GoEV is something that was pumping today. It is about 30% short. Actually, let me tell you exactly what it's short. Here it is. GoEV is sitting at 30.67% short. We have shares outstanding that are short of 30.62 million. Just so you can see the chart here of short interest, it has briefly inflected down slightly. But GoEV did get a little bit of a soft pump on Wall Street Bets. I think it could have gotten a larger pump. It didn't get as much traction, really, because there's really no catalyst. It's possible you have a little bit of buy the rumor, sell the news happening with Canoe, because you do have a press release coming up, or some kind of investor presentation coming up. I think it's in 2 days. I believe it's the 17th. But anyway, you could just Google that and you'll figure it out. It's possibly why you might see a little bit of a pump beforehand. I personally don't hold my breath on investor presentations, though. All right, let's go back to Ihor. All right, here we go. So Archimoto, he reports, has a 100 out of 100 short squeeze risk score. Is S3 Partners' opinion on on Archimoto right now. Then you've got Sundial sitting at 14.13% short. Shares shorted are down 8.88 million. Say that multiple times fast. Then you've got Torchlight, which is 12.38% short. This one's not really moving on the basis of a short squeeze, in my opinion. This is moving because of a special dividend that gives you access to Torchlight shares that are special preferred shares that will give you ownership in some of the liquidated assets that Torchlight is getting rid of. And those are, some folks are estimating those to be worth about $5. I personally am concerned about that if that land appraisal is high, those shares could end up being worth a whole lot less. So I'm not so tempted to pay, although you get and receive the dividend if you hold the shares. I believe it's on June 24th. Verify that before you do anything. Pretty sure it's June 24th. So I think you are gonna get people trying to buy it and then dumping it. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of a fire sale after that preferred dividend is handed out, because people aren't going to want the leftover Torchlight, potentially, depending on how much of it converts over to Meta and how it converts over. So we'll see. Looking at short interest here, these, it looks like here, just millions of shares short. It's no surprise that Tesla has the most millions of shares short relative to Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, and Facebook, more than double what Facebook is short. Percentage-wise, though, kind of low. I mean, Tesla's like 5% short, so it's pretty low. Looking at short as a percentage, you've got PubM is still sitting at 53%. The problem with PubM is you don't have options, so you eliminate that opportunity for a potential gamma squeeze. Remember that a gamma squeeze is really when you start getting this thing known as delta hedging. So in other words, as more and more people buy call options, especially as they're out of the money, and then those start coming in the money, the other side of the transaction, the market makers, tend to delta hedge. So they're not taking on too much risk by having this potential infinite loss call that they have to provide you with unless they cover and they have shares by hedging. And so in other words, with options, oftentimes you could see a short squeeze a lot faster because of that delta hedging, which adds buying pressure to the stock. That is not something that you would have with something that doesn't have options. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have a short squeeze at PubM. You could definitely still have a strong short squeeze at PubM. It just, in my opinion, makes it a little less likely, a little harder to pull off. Clove still at 45.92%. Personally, Workhorse was down a good chunk today. It was down about 6%. I don't have any shares in Workhorse or options right now. I'm waiting for another dip opportunity. Workhorse is really sitting, I want to say last time I checked, it was sitting right around our 14 support level. Yeah, look at that, 14.18 right now. And we've got our support level drawn here at about 14.03. If I get a break under 14.03 on Workhorse, I go back into like the 13, or oh my gosh, if I go into like the $10 again, whoo, that's going to really set me up, in my opinion, for a short squeeze potential here. It's something that I would be keeping an eye on. FUV is Arcimoto. That's actually incredible that it broke to 40.2% short. I'm actually having a hard time believing that. Hold on, I want to see that with my own eyes, because at least I believe this was way lower. Yeah, so let's let this load. Oh, wow. Wow, you are really short. Look at that. So this literally, Arcimoto, has gone from 33% short to 40% short in the last month. So this is really getting short attacked here. This is an interesting target, in my opinion. I don't have any options right now. I do have shares in Arcimoto, but I do not have any options right now. I am looking for opportunities to buy the dip on some of these. I don't know that 1276 is that dip, but let's see here. Let's go to the, okay, we'll go to the hour chart. Yeah, so Arcimoto for me as a short squeeze potential, golly, if I could pick them up over at this level again, like the 1120, I'm going to draw a line here. If I could pick them up at about 1120, ooh, that'd be pretty nice. Or even better is, yeah, that's almost a triple touch right there at 942. I don't know that we're going to get this kind of oversell again, especially since we never really had a consistent bottom here. We have this ascending pattern. So I probably would be tempted here to pick this one up. I mean, look at these touches. Touch, touch, many touches over here. If I could get Workhorse at 942, I'd probably get some longer options and hold that thing into a squeeze. That's probably what I'd be looking for, something around this aspect. So, okay, let's go back here to Ehor. All right, let's go back. We've got Fisker sitting at 28.09% short. Not a surprise. A little bit of a surprise that Arcimoto has gone up as much. Palantir is barely short. Wish, yeah, see, Wish is barely short as well. Somebody posted this like fake article. Oh, what did I say? Somebody says you mean FUV. If I accidentally said the wrong thing, I'm sorry. But anyway, I think you know. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, if I said the wrong thing, I'm sorry. I'm going to keep going now. So Wish. Wish is one that really bothered me because somebody posted a picture from the Bloomberg terminal that it was 50% short. And I remember saying I thought that was completely wrong and complete bogus because none of the short interest data was reflecting that. It only said it was 50% short from like 3 weeks ago or some like really old stat. And that was while this run was happening. And I just thought it was ludicrous. But I have to give it to him. You know, the thing's still up. It's consolidated a little bit. But it's at 11.38 right now. It's up from that $10 where it was. And it's certainly up from that 7.66 where it was over here when it had run. But I wouldn't be shocked to see this potentially rotate down if people were getting in it because they thought it had a high short interest. And now it doesn't. That's just an individual thought that I have there. Let's see if Ehor has anything else for us. United Wholesale Mortgage, 15% short. Probably too little to really squeeze. Same thing with BB here at 18.15. United Wholesale, I think, is still going to have a rough time. Yes, on Workhorse. Still think is going to have a hard time, though, because you are really up against, what's it called? Mortgage rates. If people think mortgage rates are going to go up, it's going to be a little rougher. We do have, actually, I don't even know what this particular stock is here. 14.9% short. We've got FSR here at 21.93%, but we've already talked about Fisker and my thoughts on Fisker. What we could do is we could do a quick little screener here as well. All right. So let's go ahead and hop in here, do a little refresh. Remember, you can always get any of my buy-sell alerts. Certainly not guaranteed to make you money, but you'll at least get my alerts in terms of what I'm looking at, what I'm doing, what my strategy is, with what I'm buying, how much I'm buying, why I'm buying it. You'll always get those if you're in the Stocks and Psychology of Money group, which you are, of course, invited to. Use that 40% off coupon code in the link down below to join. Okay, so taking a peek at short interest here, we have a 43% on Workhorse. Geo is still high at 39%. Fulgent Genetics and Esperion also pretty high here, and so is Go, On Track, and PetMed. These are some of your bigger ones. Lemonade's pretty big too, though. I'm kind of shocked. 28% short. Ooh, it's so juicy. Like, no pun intended with the fact that it is lemonade. But yeah, Lemonade, I have to wait for a lower number here. I've got some good exposure to Lemonade. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Look, I made money on Workhorse. Somebody here is saying I'm going to make a mistake on Workhorse. I made like over $30,000 in like 3 days on Workhorse. I was very happy with that. I'm not going to play the greed game if I'm going to do short-term trading, which I do. And when I do short-term trading, I will always take a profit. There is no hodling short-term. Okay, so this is Lemonade here. We did. This is where we tracked that triple bounce on the 79 level. Not sure we're going to revisit that anytime soon. We'll see. Could we easily break through something like a 96 and a 91, maybe fall to like 80s again? Yeah, it depends. Depends how long momentum and potential shorts, take a break. Short squeezers take a break. So, all right. But a Lemonade would be a potential other target. All right, so thanks for watching this portion here on short interest. Quick note for those of you asking, Skills is 28.89% short. So those are some of my thoughts on short interest, some companies to be watching in terms of short interest. I've also got a note here that somebody's asking for short interest on Coin and DraftKings. DraftKings, Coin, not too, Coin at least, it's too early to see a lot of shorting on Coin. And since it's already sold off so much, I think you're just really not seeing much here. So it's at 2.18%. But if I go to DKNG, if we can ever get the darn thing to load here, DKNG. That's I typed it wrong. Oh no. DKNG. Pretty sure I hit the K and it just didn't register it. We'll go with that. We'll blame the computer, not me. 10.72% short. So you're not really looking at short plays here on DraftKings and Coins. Or a Coin. We can though look at DraftKings briefly as it's down 4% on the day, down about 0.4 in the afters here. So we're really waiting for some more clarity on something like DraftKings, but DraftKings not really a short play here. So things to know. All right, so those are my thoughts on the particular short squeeze movers or potential short squeeze movers, and those are ones to pay attention to. As always, check out the link down below for my amazing programs. They get 40% off and join me for lifetime access to all the content in them. Okay, great. Let's see what else is going on here. Let's see what Fox has for us. What do we got over here?
For anything. They want to end fossil fuels, and they have nothing with which to replace it. You just can't take 80% of our energy out of circulation. It's just common sense, even if I agree with them, which I most certainly do not. But you know what I mean? You don't need 3 PhDs to figure out. You need power, but you're taking away your power sources, and the so-called new source is not ready. That's the part I just don't get.
Well, it seems to be like
CMC.
Points us, and we know it's been a difficult
Nothing.
year.
Seriously.
That's why with every purchase,
You gonna pull that to us or pull that off on us? Come on, man. Exactly, right? All right. See if there's any other news going on. Seems like a little bit of a quiet day here. Let's go pull Bloomberg here. Come on, lifts New York COVID mandates after reaching 70% vaccine goal. This was clickbait on Airbnb. Retail sales factory data show growing pains for U.S. recovery. That's fine. You would expect that. Trump tax battle spurs judge to push for mediation over subpoena. Boring. Billionaires are tapping skyrocketing fortunes to fund record giving. Yep. What's this on Roblox?
Users declined from the previous month, down 300,000 to 43 million. But the hours engaged actually climbed 1% from the previous year. And while hours and daily active users and bookings, that is what Roblox sells to the user over the lifetime of the average user, all of those metrics are up year over year. But get this, the average bookings per daily active user, what they're selling, is down 2 to 3% over last year. So that's one reason why you're seeing the stock now retreating down by about 5% in extended trading. Sarah? All right, Contessa, thank you. Contessa Brewer. Let's go back to Mike Santoli now for a look at narrowing market leadership, Mike, as the market broadly is holding near its highs.
Yeah, Sarah, and this is kind of a subtle trend. It's not necessarily like just a few stocks holding up the market, but it's noteworthy that after a very long period of time where the average stock, the equal-weighted S&P 500, vastly outperformed the major S&P 500, which is market cap weighted, you're now seeing them neck and neck on a quarter-to-date basis. And right here, you saw that there was a pretty big lead by the equal-weighted S&P just a few weeks ago, and that is now.
Oh, somebody wrote Roblox is a sham. Tell me why. Kathy's pretty big on that one. Kathy Wood. Roblox killed me in the after hours. Let me look at the after hours here on Roblox and see specifically what is going on Bloomberg here. So give me one sec. Roblox. See what we have here. Roblox indicates individual company news. Okay, so Roblox. Okay, Roblox reports key metrics for May. Active users up 28% year over year, but down 1% on month over month. Okay. So literally that 1% decline on month over month users whacked the company. Let me see if I can pull up the actual release here. The filing. Okay, yeah, here we go. Okay, or not. We'll get it here. Investor Relations, Roblox. Let's go see what we got on Roblox here. See the actual deets. I like looking at the deets. Roblox reports May key metrics. Okay, here we go. Now, this is pretty simple. Okay. All right, let's start with the stock. Roblox. There we go. All right, so here's Roblox, currently down 6.19% after a pretty big run that we've had. On Roblox, we were up 2.28% today, which follows a pretty red day yesterday. But Roblox stock itself on the day chart has actually been crushing it. Take a look at the day chart here on Roblox. We've gone from IPO pricing and a closing of about $67 per share. And we really had some flatness and weakness at first. We had a lot of resistance around the mid-70s. Multiple times did we attempt to break out of about that $76 to $77 level. And it really took until the end of May 20th to be specific, to really start seeing a push in Roblox stock. And that's where Roblox all of a sudden ran from somewhere around $74 all the way to a peak of just over $100, closing at $166 with an intraday high of just over $103.87. Pretty incredible move here. But over the last 5 or 6 days here, it's been really softening, despite volume being pretty decent. So volume's maintained its strength here with around 14 to 15 million shares traded per day, way up from the 2 to 4 million shares traded per day previously. But we've today had a 6% decline in the after hours. You can see this decline forming here. Probably a little bit easier to see it on the 5-minute chart. There we go. So you can see it was a pretty flat day. It was up about 2% in the day. However, now we're kind of plummeting here in the after hours. And the rationale for this actually has to do with this release here. Daily active users were 43 million for Roblox. So remember, Roblox is sort of this ecosystem. I kind of personally like to think of it like the game store version of an app store. So you know how you have an app store and you get a bunch of different apps in there. I kind of think of like Roblox as that store. And we've got daily active users for Roblox up 28% from May of last year. But this is where people are getting spooked. Down 1% from April of 2021. And see, this is something that we've regularly talked about before because this is what we think is going to happen with inflation as well. We know that the market has been getting very, very spooked, and we saw this coming. We were talking about this on this channel. This is why you always want to subscribe to the channel. We were talking about this back in November and December of last year. I go, folks, you better buckle up for volatility because when inflation comes in and people start seeing inflation doing this, they're not going to realize it's temporary. And we're going to see people freak out every time we get this inflection point. And these upper lines here are really what I expect to be. We started seeing this sort of fear in Feb because folks knew it was coming. And then this has really been reiterated in March, April, May, and so far in June. But I personally believe we're kind of going to hit a peak, and that's going to be that June data. And we're going to kind of see this July fall back down. And once we get these changes in directions, that's often what investors are looking for. So that has to do with inflation. But what you have here is you have this monthly trend at Roblox of user growth. And even if that user growth is slowing, because this is growing user growth, right? This is like exponential growth. Here, what you might have is something like S-curve style-esque, where you kind of have COVID giving you exponential growth over here. And then you start getting this slowing. But what really freaks investors out is when the slowing actually turns into a slight decline, which this is, for example, what like -1% could look like. That right here is an inflection point, and that freaks people out. So why is Roblox stock down? It's solely because of this inflection point here. Even though hours engaged were 3.2 billion, up 9% year over year, and up 1% from April of 2021. So even though hours of engagement went up, the amount of users went down, potentially because of our reopening, whatever. And that's starting to freak folks out a little bit. Now, the stock has had a wonderful run. You know, not wanting at all to bash the company here by any means. I think it's had a wonderful run. Personally, I wouldn't mind buying the thing again somewhere close to IPO pricing. You could see this line that we've drawn here at about 65.57. You could see this is a pretty stable line. We've regularly visited this. We visited this on IPO day. We visited after IPO. We revisited it again a few months after the IPO. And now sitting at, where are we now in after hours? After hours right now, we're down about 8%. We're at about $82. $82 puts me about right here on the day chart. After hours doesn't show up, but it puts me about right here. I think there's still some room to go. It puts me, this is not really, I think, a good support level. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do hit that mid 70s again, which was a pretty rough previous resistance for the stock. So it is possible that we go back. You know, if I were to draw it, I'd probably draw it. Yeah, 78, 70, 76, I feel is a little bit more of an average of the issue that we've had over here. It's not the cleanest line here ever, but that's what I would be expecting, is to be able to go back into here. If we could break through 76, I think there's a big buying opportunity on Roblox. You might not like Roblox long-term though, but that's just a little bit of why Roblox fell and what I might be looking for a cheaper entry price. And if it doesn't go down there, I don't care. Then I won't buy. So as always, check out the courses down below. Get that 40% off coupon code. And thanks for watching this video. Make sure to share it if you liked it. Okay, cool. So that's on Roblox. Let's see. Is there anything else anybody wants to talk about? Anybody got anything else? Let's see. I want to see what else is going on in the news. So that's good on Roblox. Let's see. So what else do we have here? Newsom? We're going to talk about Newsom? I don't know. Does anybody really want to talk about Newsom? Come on. This is a joke. There's too much corruption going on. It kills me. I don't even want to get into it right now. So California could have a very, very good future. That's where I like to focus on. Is I know California can be great and be much better than it is. All right, let's see what other headlines we've got here. So we've got thoughts on the future of the housing market. Thoughts on the future of the housing market. Could winter be a better time to buy? Yeah. How important? You know, I posted a video on the Fed meeting. Watch my channel and go to my channel and look for just look at my recent videos. If you don't have it yet, look at the Meet Kevin app and you'll see it. But I posted a video here. I'll open the Meet Kevin app right now because YouTube does not give you all notifications. Literally just type Meet Kevin into the App Store and you'll be able to get all those notifications. But here it's right here. It's the second one. It's watch before 2:30 p.m. on Wednesday. So watch that one. I also posted a little thing on AMC right here. But anyway, you could see those things here in case you're not getting all the notifications. Okay, so Thoughts on Dogecoin and your personal price? Oh yeah, and somebody asked about housing. I don't know. It depends. It could make sense that maybe housing will slow down. So. Okay, sorry. Where was I? I don't know where I was. So we'll just talk about it. Okay, so we talked about this path. You're asking about path. Okay, well, I don't know what you want to know about path. You're talking about UiPath, right? Yeah, UiPath. Well, UiPath barely moved. You know, it's given up some of its froth. It's really right at about IPO pricing here, but yeah, I don't know what particularly you would want to know about Path. One sec. Okay, one sec. Okay. All right. Anything else? What else we got? Oh, Dogecoin, right. Dogecoin's a tough one. So Dogecoin to me, I think I'm actually very happy it consolidated around 32. It could have been a lot worse of consolidation. Bitcoin, for example, just slipped under 40 again briefly here. It's kind of bobbing right around 40. But Dogecoin sitting at even 32, 31, 31.96 where it is now. That's not bad. Like I feel like when we zoom out on Doge to like the weekly chart, or well, the weekly chart you can't really do. When you go out to the day chart, boy, it could have been so much worse for Doge. You know, I mean, that like if you're gonna consolidate, come on, that's good. Unless you end up getting like, I don't know if you could really call this like a head and shoulders. It's kind of a messy. It's like a head with a tumor and then two shoulders. But yeah, you know, maybe it could break down. I don't know. I don't know. It's been doing very well, and it's actually been trading right below one of my support lines, which is kind of funny because it's basically implies that there's another support line right here, approximately at about 30 cents. But I'm going to keep my line here, which is about 34, just because that's what I've previously been using, and it had previously been working. So I like to watch that as reference. So generally, I don't delete my lines. Battle plan for DraftKings. Good question. Waiting for a big update from DraftKings on like the truth, like exposing the truth or whatever, before expecting any kind of bounce on DraftKings. We did make money on DraftKings today. Certainly not as much as like GoEV cranked. That was incredible. I mean, what a crank here. If I had gotten in when I first saw it and I'm like, oh, I should buy this, I'd be up about 11% right now. I instead took 6% on DraftKings on a trade, which I'm still holding, so it could also evaporate tomorrow. I'm swinging it. I'm not day trading it. I'm happy with mine. You know, you can't always be in the biggest winner of the day. It's still profitable. I feel like I had a very good gut reaction to buy DraftKings this morning, right at market open. You know, it was like 6:31 is when I bought it, and it was because I think the Hindenburg research is bullcrap. Whoa, look at Blue Apron after hours though. Oh, Blue Apron's been one of those that has actually recently been kind of memifying a little bit. So let's see here. Yeah. I want to look at that. All right. So Blue Apron now down 14% in the after hours. A 5-minute is showing this, so this would have had to have been a news catalyst here. Let's pull this quickly. Okay, let's see what we got. Blue Apron, whose ticker symbol is Apron. Individual company news. Okay, here. Okay. One sec. Give me one sec. Uh, 10 more seconds. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, that's done. So, okay, Blue Apron. Here we go. Got it. Blue Apron trades lower. Okay, Blue Apron slides after announcing share offering. Ah, okay, stock offering. There it is. Blue Apron 8K. Here we go. This came out. No, that's yesterday's 8K. Where's today's? Okay, I'll pull it here. So they did a share offering. Investor relations, Blue Apron. It makes sense. They recently ran up for about 2 weeks straight. And recent press releases. Here we go. Oh, Blue Apron. Okay, Blue Apron today announced public offering, grant a 30-day option to purchase up to an additional 15% of the shares of its Class A common shares to be sold in the offering. Okay, well, 15%, that's a little convoluted. I don't know how many that is, if it's 15% of the total or 15% of what was offered to the underwriter. That's not exactly very clear. Answering that would be very useful, though. Announces Class A, okay. Blah, blah. Let me click around here really quick. No, I can't get the details on it. Here we go. Shares of Blue Apron. All the shares are being sold by Blue Apron, the company said. 13% lower. Stock finished the day at a 5.47% loss. Now it's down again, that 14%. Blue Apron has 14.66 million shares outstanding with a public float of 12.4. So 14.66. I'd like to know a number of shares that they just offered, because that would really give us an idea as to how much dilution there really is. So what did we say? There was like 14.66 was the total. And they just offered. Try to find it here. P.S. Your show today has been driven through 4 states so far on the way to Florida. No way. Oh, well, thank you. And I hope you enjoy your drive. Stay safe out there. So the company plans to grant the underwriter a 30-day option to purchase an additional 15% shares. Yeah, I don't know how many shares. If they mean 15% of float, then obviously that's a lot, and it would explain a falling 14%. But they sold stop, they didn't sell 5 shares. 15 additional, and all the shares. So it doesn't say under 15% of the shares. I have to assume that it's 15% of the float, which makes sense because that's roughly how the market is responding, down about 14%. You know, with a slight difference or arbitrage there, because that is money that is going to the company, which is positive. All right, so then we've got nothing else really moving big in the after hours. Torchlight's down about 5.92%. We've got Playboy 26.93% short. Roblox down 6.52, which we talked about. Upstart down, Sense, Corsair rotating down a bit. Moving to the upside, we have Utime actually up 2% here in the afters. 13.95% on the day. That's not bad. It's a good movement there on Utime. Let's quickly see if there's a... Oops. I wanted to show the Black app here. Black app, Utime. Let me see if there was any news catalyst on that, or if that's just UTME. UTME. Yeah, it is tempting to buy. No, UTime doesn't really have a short interest. Okay. So going back then instead to Canoe, let's look at GoEV. GoEV is pretty flat in the afters here. That'll be one to pay attention to tomorrow morning. It is tempting. It is. But remember that sometimes you can actually get this really incredible push down right at the opening minute, and then you can kind of slide in and buy then, and then close out. So that's an option. I've seen that work quite frequently with trading. Can't always guarantee it, but anyway, if I make any moves, I'll send an alert, of course, in the course, Stocks and Psychology of Money, link down below. Lifetime access to it, 40% off. Sundial, I'll look at Sundial and I'm going to take off. Okay, Sundial, we have at 14.13%. Okay, folks, thank you so very much for being here. It's fun. We did a little bit of a longer stream. We almost did 3 hours here. Let me know if you liked it. I thought it was fun. Thanks so much, folks, and we'll see you in the next one.